Happy Friday, everyone. Kimono 1, cozy kimono 1, high kimono 1, non.
Hey, listen!
Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for that sub. Thank you. Much appreciated. 6 years. Holy cow, that's a long time. And hey, listen. Welcome. How are you, Jeff? I hope you're doing good. It's good to see you in chat, and I hope life is treating you well. But yeah, 67 months. Thank you so much for the stream support. Rain was first. See that. And welcome, Shane. I hope you're surviving the week and the weekend. I don't know what your work schedule is. I'm so sorry. I hope you're doing good. Yes, welcome everyone. Welcome, Paula. Thank you so much for that lurk and hanging out. Good luck at work tonight. And welcome, H Barake. H Barke. If I said your name wrong, I'm completely sorry. But welcome to the stream. Welcome. It's good to have you. Redeemed free sticker. Oh my gosh, I did just order stickers this week. I think it was this week. My mind is a blur now. Of my Pikachu painting, so they should be here. I think they'll be here Monday, so I'm excited about that. And then we have what's going on. Let's see. Michigan's already linking people. Can't hear a word right now, but these wacky boys. Oh no. Yeah. Welcome everyone. Welcome. I gotta work this weekend, but I can join y'all for at least one game tonight. Do it, do it, do it. We are already in here and already loaded up and ready to go. I got 6 people already in the waiting room and on the game, so. Barake? I hope I said that right. Words are hard. But welcome. Barake. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jeff of the Hiya Hayas. Welcome in. Alright, let's go get everybody. Let's go say hi, introduce them. Yes, words are hard. 311 times because I am the worst, and I apologize. I am the worst about pronouncing names. Even one of my mods changed their name, and I yet have to know how to pronounce it correctly. I haven't heard them say it, and it's terrible. So I just call him Sixth. I'm sure he'll be here shortly. Wild Pokemon appear, guys. Catch a Pokemon. Catch a Pokemon today. Joffrey, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Thank you for the sub for 5 months. Thank you so much, guys. Hopping all in. Happy Friday. Thank you guys so much for the subs. Also, we're going to be raising funds, if you didn't know already, for St. Jude. So I'm excited about that. I do it every year for the month of May. I've got a little bit of a head start this year. Got my overlay up, my donate link. I think my donate link's ready. Yeah. And I still have to load all my incentives, but I will definitely get with you guys if you donate in advance and let you know what you get at that incentive level. I'll get back with you. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Happy Friday. I gotta chill. I gotta breathe. Breathe, Mono, breathe. Go get your friends. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Hi, James and Joffrey and Rain and Michigan and Tank and Wiggles and Splits. If any of you would like to join the Golf with Friends game before
So the free sticker is for my Pokemon sticker, and then all the other stickers.
Okay, that
How
makes
many
sense.
people can play at a time in that game?
12. We have plenty.
She's talking about pot stickers. She's like looking for some really good food.
Oh, no.
That's too good.
That sounds good.
You know, that's how I judge on how good of an Asian restaurant it is by their dumplings.
Do they have pot stickers?
If they have a dumpling, and if it's
not quite the same thing.
They're similar. They're similar, yeah.
A dumpling can be pan fried, and then it suddenly becomes a
like gnocchi.
Pot sticker.
I was
No,
gonna say-
they're filled.
Oh, gnocchi's Italian.
Usually pick my
Dumplings are
fave
actually
based on
the-
like their
Yeah.
Pierogi.
crab ragoon.
That's
I
Polish.
love those
That's-
things.
Mhm.
Crab ragoons, they gotta be good.
Yeah, and it's Polish.
Hello.
But then I have like different Chinese places that I order for different reasons. Like the one that has the butter soup. If I'm feeling sick, I will order the butter soup thing.
Wonton soup? Ooh.
So we have this one place by us. It's a Chinese place,
Mhm.
and it's so authentic. Like the lady, you know, a lot of these Chinese places, they buy these pot stickers and dumplings. They buy all that shit pre-made,
Frozen.
egg rolls, all that stuff.
Yeah. Frozen.
Uh-huh.
She hand rolls every single egg roll, every single crab rangoon, every
Nice.
single
Wow.
dumpling,
Much better.
and you can you can tell they don't look like anything. Like they don't look like what you get the commercial ones that always look the same. You
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
they're
you can
they're
tell
know?
if
The
she put that
and
time into it.
like the wonton consistency or the dough, whatever
Jeez.
it is so much better. Their egg rolls, I swear to you,
Do you know what it is?
they're the size of a freaking beer can.
Do you know what it is?
Like a small, the thinner, like
Beer
the
can.
seltzer cans. It's about
What?
that big.
Blood, sweat, and tears would never taste so good.
Yeah, I need some Chinese food. I had pizza tonight. And
Oh, pizza. You
it
can't go
was
wrong with
good. It
Hold
was
on,
really
I'm
good.
gonna put this out. I'm gonna put this out to the channel right here.
Oh,
that.
I would like to know,
Uh-huh.
with
would you like?
all discretion, what you call it, like discretion. Please tell me none of yous like fucking pineapple on pizza.
Oh, I do. I love
Oh,
it.
you're so
Not a younger
wrong, dude.
brother.
I
You're
love
so
pineapple
wrong.
on pizza with
Pineapple,
some
onions, and
ham
bacon. None of the
and some
Canadian
jalapenos.
No Canadian.
To be fair,
I like the Canadian stuff and I like bacon, so I'm
The
good eating it.
Italians would be
but-
fucking cussing you right now.
But I want some
I married
jalapenos
an
on there
Italian
too.
wife, and
let's
she
say
likes
honestly,
pineapple
it
on
depends
pizza.
on the sauce.
Then
they
she's
use.
not Italian.
And she's not. She's
You ended
Sicilian.
up going with Wendy's,
Wasn't
Jeff?
pizza
Nice.
invented in
Pineapple
China?
and bacon is my
If you
pineapple
do
and bacon is your
barbecue
go-to,
chicken,
Jeff.
I can
Jeff is
see
with you, Wiggles. Pineapple and bacon.
To add the ham.
I just want bacon.
But
I
Jeff
just
has
want
Jeff loves
pizza.
pierogies. I have
don't
some
care
pierogies
how
in the
it
freezer.
comes, how it looks. I just want pizza.
I like pierogies,
Excuse
too.
me, but if I wanted a fucking dessert,
think
I
we're
would
ready to
order
hit
a
start.
dessert. I didn't want it on a
Everybody's
pizza.
here. We've got collision
I like
enabled.
Use barbecue
I don't-
sauce?
You
Jeff's
clearly
enabled.
don't
Okay.
understand salty and savory.
You know what? I'm
So-
gonna leave it on
Oh,
random
well,
and see what
sweet-
course we
sweet-
get.
sweet
Oh,
savory.
it's not
Aiden.
horrible.
Aiden,
No,
let me tell you
Random.
something.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Aiden,
You cannot convince me of this.
Aiden.
I wouldn't order
You know what I don't
pineapple
like
on pizza, but if
Oh, we're
it's
on
there,
the deep. Right off the bat.
I'll eat a
we're
little
going
bit
to
of
the
it.
deep.
I'll have a slice.
We're going deep. We're off the
Not
bat.
bad. We could have got one of the worst courses or something.
What?
I wouldn't
I do
order
not
it
like
myself.
sardines on
Sorry,
Oh,
but the
eat it.
one with the fishy spinning? Yeah.
Fishy spinnings is bad, but it's not as bad.
Oh.
It's really not.
It's not as bad.
I'm just waiting for a download. Oh, here we go.
Oh, I like your stuff following you,
Why
right?
did I
Is
do
it
that?
dice?
Yeah.
Why did I jump?
Oh.
Hey,
Do you
wait.
see my ball?
You
No.
see
You
me?
guys start a game?
Yeah, I just.
Wait, you have two?
There's
Ah,
a part two? I got a bogey on that one? Damn.
One and a half.
Wait,
Pay attention to my
language.
ball.
okay.
Your ball is distracting. Sorry.
I see a conglomerate of balls at the moment, so.
Well,
Respect
shit,
my
too many.
conglomerate. Yay!
Number two.
Can't see it. I'm sure I'll see it eventually. No, I just missed the thingamajig.
Wait, Lady Rain, your ball is a ghost. Why is this?
Because she
You started?
Respect her conglomerate. She's got rings.
Yes, it is a ghost. It
Welcome
is
back, guys. After
invisible
the ad
spell.
break, welcome back.
I'm still
The
here.
new
Nice.
pack
That
is
modded.
based on D&D.
I love that.
That looks modded.
I love all the dice.
Wow, I went way
It's
the fuck
not.
over.
Part of the new map.
Kinda
I
crazy.
like the new
Yeah,
pack.
you buy it. You buy it, the pack.
Yeah.
So it's a
I-
new
I
map
bought it
too,
for my
not just
coffin.
not
no,
just
there's
decoration.
no map.
Are you?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's just the
I
decorations.
was gonna say. Alright, Splints. With your
Are you
what's on
kidding me?
Splints' head? What is that? It looks like red
Pancakes.
I got pancakes. Yeah.
It's like
I will-
strawberry
I
covered
will-
pancakes.
you know, you're both.
No, it's just the lighting, it's just regular
I
pancakes.
don't know what I switched it to. Whatever.
So distracting.
Can I just give you a preemptive thing? See when Lady gets too fucking low on the spectrum of like actually possibly winning, she will fuck you over. She
What do you
will
mean?
she will annihilate you. She does on purpose, and I'm giving you the heads up. Your gig's up, mate.
She's gonna get you. She's
You
gonna
sure
get
it's
you,
not
get
just
you, get you.
you,
Nah,
Mr. Goose?
I hope not.
Are you saying she's
She's gonna sabotage
I had
you.
a song in mind and then I forgot it. Sorry.
Saboteur?
Absolute deviant.
She is David.
Yeah, that.
I was gonna say Saboteur by Sabaton.
We're gonna start singing all those songs.
No, wait. That's Metallica, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yo.
Whee!
Look
I'll
at
take a
my
hole in one.
dice going in there.
Pull it uno.
I was hoping someone
Nice,
did.
congrats.
I tried to, Michigan. I tried to.
I know you're right there. I
I'm
was-
all over the place. I'm right there with Wiggles. I'm just not.
I
Oh,
tried to
no.
land on you. but-
Wiggles is still learning.
Yeah, even though he's beating us, but yeah.
Get better.
This is a natural.
Good.
learner.
Bump.
Get good, Michigan. Get good.
Oh, I'm getting good.
Look at all of us
You're gonna
talking
kick
for
all our
fun.
butts.
How fucking crazy.
You're gonna beat us all.
This
No,
is the
that-
one that always messes me up. Always.
Oh,
There's a certain amount. What's the amount, Dreamweaver?
3 from the base.
So it's a full yeet at the beginning,
Oh
and then
no.
and then we're what 3 waves, 2 waves in.
It's just a little bit less than a full yeet or something.
Yeah.
I got it in a bar or birdie.
That or it's 3 yeets and a third. I can't remember.
Oh come on. No.
I'm trying 3 yeets and a third.
Than I ever
Nope.
have in the past. Usually.
Thanks,
like,
you
I
won't
end up
break
playing-
me. You won't make me play Stardo. You won't. Get moves by
I end
yourself.
up
Oh
over
god. Yes.
stroking
You
over
can play golf with Brand's Magical Kitty on the next round if you want.
Oh yeah, I'm just fucking
Love to have you.
Download Stardew. Yeah, Stardew is soon. I need to look at my schedule. When's the next group one starting?
Mhm.
Saturday.
Friday.
Is it Friday or is it?
I thought it was.
This is Friday.
I thought it was Tuesday.
I thought it was
Friday.
Sunday.
We don't know. I'm gonna look at Twitter because I don't even know my own schedule.
Yeah,
It's
group 2 is
posted
Sunday.
in different
Yeah.
places.
Real streamer now.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
shit, I missed
yes.
What everybody was doing.
Group 2, the girls, is
I
Sunday. Next Friday is everyone again. The
What?
group
Who hit
one.
me?
So if you want to join us next Friday for some Stardew,
Gosh.
also on a date. Oh, sweet. Congrats.
Oh, no, I
But yeah,
didn't
next
know.
Friday is Stardew. So tell your date they can wait. Just
Boyfriend,
kidding.
Kitty. You mute yourself and your boyfriend, Kitty.
Yes.
Who's in front of me?
Oh god, I am messing it up now, Jesus.
You are.
Over the dang ass place, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm messing up real bad too. I fell in the hole.
Except for
Oh,
except
what
for
jump?
jump.
Help.
What jump? Needed. Well
You saw
needed.
that? You saw that?
Yeah, I see
Where the
that. I
fuck's
see
And
that?
then I'm gonna like get behind stuff, so that this is really awkward and a pain in the
Yeah,
butt.
yeah, I see
Yeah.
it.
You go. You
And I'm
can
just gonna
Hello.
yeet it. No, I was supposed to yeet it so I can go around things. Can I jump that
Aiden, I'm
thing?
glad you saw my.
Oh nope,
Oh,
can't.
don't you dare.
Ooh, too
Can't.
hard.
My wicked jump was so good.
I thought I could jump that thing.
Mexican, what are you doing?
Drugs.
Just
Coral.
jump over the.
Drugs.
What are you doing?
He's
Just-
taking pool tips from Tex at the moment and trying to win.
He's like,
Mexican
just hit
front
all
row.
of the
Go down the hole, Moto. I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
just more strokes the better.
Where is Tex? He needs to play with us. Vortex.
Dude, I went from 2nd to 6th.
Vortex.
This is horseshit.
Ooh.
Oh, I went too far. Whoops.
I'm way too far as well.
This time I might not. Oh, I hit the fish. Fuck.
I hit the thing. I hit the
Oh,
thing.
I
And I
couldn't
hit
get
the
over the
thing.
wall though.
So it's not. It's not even 2.
Goldie flappy thing.
Ah!
Jump, jump, jump.
I just keep doing the same thing. So is it like only 1? No,
You
it's
jump
more
over
than
the fish,
1.
Mono.
There
Jump
you
over the
go.
fish.
Yeah.
Got a par.
Right. Oh, come on, I'll go slightly to the. Yes,
Left.
Actually,
Jump over the
that's good.
fish. Jump over the fish.
They already made it.
fish.
Awkward
That's
salmon.
terrible. Terrible.
What?
Terrible.
Fucking
Oh,
shocking.
terrible.
Here.
Cheers, though. Cheers. Happy Friday, everyone.
Hell yeah.
Happy
Fuck,
Friday.
I gotta get this guy right here.
Good drink, darn it.
Thanks for starting without me. I'm just joking.
Yeah. We don't like Canadians.
No, you can get in on the next round. Maybe
I know,
Magical
I was-
Kitty
I
will be
had-
done with
I
his
had a
date.
download.
Up on the first fucking.
I had a download, so that's what
Oh
took
my
me so
god.
much
Oh, you had to download it anyway?
Update.
You had all day.
Oh, yeah, it had several updates this week.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Who booty bumped me? I was in like the perfect position. I was lined up
Who's
perfectly.
booty bumping?
I got hit too.
Has anyone watched the new Fallout show yet? Lady Rain has definitely watched the new Fallout.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Everybody has.
Apparently,
Oh no!
Joffrey has.
Highly recommended to everybody.
I have not because I've been working all week.
It's a par 4.
Hello,
I'm on
Doc.
my 9th shot. God.
And I don't ever have time to watch things. It's
Come
terrible.
on out. Come on out. You need to get your shit caught up because that's a fucking cracking program to watch.
I can never get caught up. Hi! I'm here, time to end. Yep, artist is here. We're out. We're shutting down.
Hi, artist.
Nope, nope.
Shit's getting shut
Oh
down.
no.
Shut down. Artist is here.
Shut it
Gonna
down.
hide.
Fucking hell. Why'd you have to destroy it, artist?
What do you mean?
Here we are.
Welcome,
I like
artist. I hope you're doing good.
I know of a shot that you guys don't.
Oh, off the board up on top there.
Did you make it? You didn't make
Oh.
it, so I'm not entirely
Wonder if I'm
convinced of
set up
that
right.
shot.
Oh, watch this. If I get it set up
Oh,
right.
you motherfucker.
If you get it on the second one.
Oh yeah, I need to be more than that. I'm stressed. No.
Oh, whoops. I didn't realize that was not.
Told you. I
Just
made
realized I haven't updated you on the BS this week. I'll tell you later.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I'm done.
Yeah. I'm not even updated on it. Just rude.
it. Second square from the top right.
She's my bestie, Rain. Just
No.
kidding.
She lives closer to me.
Whoa.
It's fighting words.
Made it.
Just kidding.
Therefore, she is automatically my bestie.
Just because she lives closer, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys can do things together more, so I get it.
Wow, that's really awkward.
Your ghost ball
I mean, no
though, is
one
really
said both
cool.
of us are straight.
Golf with friends.
So what?
Oh, come on.
And then the wiggles.
What wiggle?
I'll catch though if you're catching Pokemon.
Bad with
You
my
catch
fucking
Pokemon.
8 shots.
Sorry you're so stressed, artist. Sending hugs.
Michigan, chill out. We know you're good.
I am
Oh,
not
jeez.
good.
Part of the BS is being too busy to think. Aww.
Arias,
Oh
these
man.
I feel that.
Thinking is
Like a rim
overrated.
in the hole.
Well, we noticed.
Puddles, come back.
I went up 6.
Twice as much as we have on. Oh, yes. I was ranking once, so yeah, you're definitely ahead of me. I can't help it, I live so freaking far away.
Oh my god, somebody lined me up basically perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Helio has been caught by Kimono Cat. Yay!
Oh, I'm gonna get a bar.
Over here.
Damn.
Zoom out.
I got
See
a
if my
bogey.
little balloon butt can go up this ramp of where dreams finds me. Oh! Hi, Bree. I bumped you. I couldn't see you there. Sorry, you're a ghost.
Whoa, dude, you got knocked around.
Aye,
I
cause
knew
the
he
fucking
would.
lady been a dick.
She has no.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She didn't mean to.
She has no comment in this situation. No.
Wiggles, where
Got
are you?
camera.
I'm
Little's exploring
Anywhere
the
but
landscape.
where we're at.
I'm gonna go see. Oh yeah, go hard to the middle.
Just go
Oh,
hard.
yeah.
Go hard, man.
To the middle.
Go hard to the loopy and try to land in the middle.
You needed to go way harder.
I just
Yeah, you
did
need
it,
to-
I just did it harder and yeah.
Okay,
Find yourself
Harder.
Yeah, but you want to be in the center when you come up and out.
Just like in Goon, you know, just go hard, bro.
Wiggles, 5 squares.
Wiggles all of a sudden gets 500 different sets of instructions to add to his anxiety of trying to figure it out.
What you actually want to do is do a spin and then hit off that wall and
Dude,
then.
all you have to do is like a stale Tokyo with a half flip and a deck slide.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh,
Come
oh,
on.
you were wrong. You saw the finish line.
Too much power.
Let's go 3. Oh,
It's the same thing you did, but less power.
30
There you
seconds left.
go.
There you go. Oh, and then you were robbed because you went right by the thing
It's
midget.
alright, you're on the board.
Let's go, Wiggles. Let's go, Wiggles.
I like that it tells you
Let's
that there's
go.
time left now.
Let's go, Wiggles.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just noticed that. I never noticed you got 30 seconds
Course.
left.
Oh,
It's,
geez.
I've
it's
always been
new.
watching the clock.
Part of the update, I think.
Let's go, Wiggles. Let's go. Alright, as we look around the course. Also, if you want to like peer around the course to see where you need to go,
Okay, I found
press
a
C
shortcut.
on your keyboard and then space
Yeah,
bar
yeah,
to look
yeah.
around.
Of course. What?
Dream not
What?
going off.
Thank you, cheated.
Ooh, that was close. How did I cheat? hit the inside of the fish.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I didn't get knocked off.
Stop in the outer space.
I'm just tapping on.
I hit the fish.
He's tapping the fish.
I keep hitting the outside of the fish, not the inside.
How do you jump in this game again? Is it?
Slightly
You
to
Just
the
click your mouse once.
center.
Left trigger or left
It's
mouse button.
easier.
How does this
Yeah, your index finger, just click.
I know I'm way back here. Oh, cheers, thanks. It's not a fucking joke.
Well, I was hoping that.
No,
would help
fish!
me.
Fish is evil! You're supposed to help me, fish.
Fish didn't help me. Oh no.
Fish,
I'll
please help
tell
me!
you
No! I'm just gonna get further.
He ended up in a
Okay.
corner where it couldn't really hit me.
You gotta do it as there's a gap.
Let's go!
Okay.
Yay!
That's
good. That was good. I was satisfied.
I was struggling a little bit, but I got into a corner.
Two fish.
Cheers.
I got 9 strokes before I'm done.
Nice shot, Mono. That was a
Got
nice
10.
shot. I was watching
Thank
the
you.
stream.
Dream, we're not
no.
trying to get personal here. We're playing golf.
Daughter K, if you're still there, welcome to the stream. What do you like to play? If you're still
Are you
lurking and
kidding
listening,
me?
and do not mind
It
me
was
asking.
harder and that might have worked.
Splint safe, that's all.
I know.
You don't have
Fine.
to answer, but just curious. Tiff!
There you go. You're
Oh my
in.
gosh, long time no see. Yes, indeed, girl. How's life?
At us.
I'm doing well.
But I love you.
Come on. Can I join? Yes, you can.
I'm
After
gonna wander off here.
this, after we make 18 holes this course, yes, you can join.
Oh no.
Whee!
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Indeed, I did. I got
Oh my gosh, worst position.
Oh, he's fucking hooped it all.
Can I join VC now or wait? You can join now. Just go ahead and jump into the waiting room and I'll make sure you have permissions and all that good stuff.
It is a really bad spot.
I don't know what that
Unless you want
noise
to
was.
recover from that,
Oh, I have permissions? Sweet. Jump in.
aim slightly to the left of that jellyfish, going full send.
Why Jaffron leaves
There
and
you
go
go.
to the waiting room?
Oh, no.
Jaffron!
He's waiting.
I don't know.
I
Oh.
bit
Now you
off
just use
part
the
of
half
my
pipe to your
nail,
advantage,
and now it's
or just go straight for it.
no.
No,
You have to go
I
get the one nail fixed.
Could have been better, but
Will they fix
Yeah,
one
could've
nail
been
for
better,
you?
but
It's gonna be like
you'll know
$5
next time.
right? Or more, just to fix one nail, probably.
at least I made it.
Yeah. I usually do that in 4 shots, to be honest.
Bro.
I got
Welcome
lucky.
to welcome to the stream. Make sure we can
You guys
hear
hear me?
you. Turning you up right now. Say something again.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. There we go.
Yeah,
No,
I'm just
hello.
getting set up right now, so I know you guys are still playing. So
Yeah, no worries. Ah! No, don't fall off, don't fall off.
Do
I'm
you-
on
do you have the game?
vacation.
Do you have the game already, Tifa?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
played with us a few times.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I talked to her. So
Uh-huh. It's okay. I haven't been on other people's streams much, to be honest, either.
Oh, come on. No, I'm
Really?
gonna
I
wait,
know
I'm gonna
Kimono.
wait.
See if you get hidden.
Even poor J3, I used to visit his streams
Oh no,
all the
his
time.
splints in.
I've just been working really hard lately and just tired.
same.
As a
I know how you
burger?
feel because I've been working really hard. But my job, I am
It's just-
on vacation right
Is it
now.
just me?
Oh.
Alright, fine.
No. Wiggles and Dreams are
You're
in.
an actual nail artist? Ouch.
In the base of the cannon there. There you go.
Watching
Whoa,
Dreams
motherfucker.
shoot himself all over the place here.
Got in the lead, not the base.
I have
Not
no
me.
comment.
All right, I'm gonna deafen, guys. So I'll be
Okay.
right back.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, you know what I'm doing, right?
Oh, you can. It's cool.
Okay, I just want to make sure before I start
I
it.
have never.
No, I
watched
appreciate you
Super Bowl.
asking, but it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
go for
I
it.
know some people are very particular about that. So
Oh yeah, definitely asked before with
Maybe
streamers,
bring
but
up
yeah, no, you're cool. Fridays, I'm cool with it.
Wiggles.
Yeah, I know. Mostly you're cool with it, but I figured I asked anyways. So I'm gonna deafen up. I'll be back.
Wee.
Okay.
He hadn't jumped. He might have made it in.
Nah.
I was gonna say he wouldn't have not enough momentum.
No momentum.
He would have been close. He was right on the money.
2 seconds. I love how it just counts down.
I'm always right on the money. Problem is,
77.
I'm still. What the fuck is this?
Wiggles is winning.
We will.
Just saying.
Yeah, fish. No!
One,
Fuck.
I was gonna say this
The
one
fish
plays
were
just on
supposed to
the
stop
eyes.
me.
Yeah.
Did that good.
Yeah, there we are.
Goodness
There we
me.
are.
Oh no.
Thank
Can I
you.
bounce over that blue thing and get over there?
I don't know. Is anyone trying?
Oh,
Oh, shit, you are.
yeah! Who could do the blue thing? I just didn't give it enough heat.
Where is it?
Someone hit me just.
Oh, I gave it too much.
Oh,
There it is.
it's past
Par
the.
4? Are you serious? This is a par 4?
Yep, sure
By the
is.
way,
Yay!
Just,
Gotta make it past the fish on your second stroke.
just under 4 yeets.
Bogey.
Left hand corner.
Sorry, Wiggles.
Uh huh.
There you go,
Uh-huh.
Mono.
You don't
Watch
believe
out.
it.
Maybe just slightly.
Wow, look at y'all still trying to find way
Oh.
over.
Oh shit.
Someone hit me.
7 strokes.
Shane's
I
winning.
will.
Someone hit me. What about fucking just.
Just say.
Oh come on.
Yeets. Oh. I'm fucking. I'm.
Cookies! There you go.
I'm sorry, you needed to jump.
No.
More.
No.
3.5 yeets.
I was gonna
3.5
say 3 got
Too
me
many
there.
jumps.
Hit me
One
on
more
that
jump.
far
Go
wall.
ahead.
Instantly.
Not enough.
There you go.
Yeah, you got D20s rolling behind you though.
Oh,
That's
come
pretty
on.
gangster.
It's
Oh,
all
that's
the
so
dice. It's not
cool.
just D20s.
Yeah, don't you dare,
No,
don't you
it's
dare.
every die.
Dreamweaver.
Weaver.
Back.
20
Oh,
seconds,
shit.
my friend.
Okay, now I'll try the proper way.
Crunch
That's
time.
not the proper way.
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm just trying.
20
to find fucking
seconds.
holes. I'm just trying
Come
to find
on.
Okay, I'll get there. Wait a minute.
No, you
Wait.
won't. It's
Got 10
pretty
seconds.
much over.
No, it's
Mhm.
not.
10, 9, 8,
Wiggles.
7,
Seven,
6,
six,
5,
five,
4, 3, 2.
Yeah,
Wait,
no.
made it.
Beep, 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 beep.
Fuck you.
I
I love
literally
how
made
Wiggles
it
just
get
barely
me
made it
through.
in. Oh, Mono's got 69. No, he can't do anymore.
We have to quit right now so I can win.
Drink.
Yeah, oh yeah, we have to drink. Is that the thing that like marbles now? Like we have to drink on 69?
Whoa.
No, that was bingo.
Almost.
We haven't played bingo in forever. I forgot about bingo.
Oh, that would be nice.
Dang it! How did I not even make it over them? There we go.
Nice plans.
I'll take a Bowie.
Oh, that's not the way.
It's kind of crazy. All right, there I am. There it is.
Oh,
I was gonna say,
Crunch, you
Dreams,
have a
if
good
you would have
shot.
got it going in there that fast, that would have been nuts. I
What
went
is
too
this?
fast
Like
too,
half a knee?
I don't know. It's half
Yeah,
everything.
Oh, it's half a knee if you can aim right.
Yeah, it's just like one and a bit.
I got
Oh,
the
that's not
bogey.
enough.
No.
And to answer your question, Kono, yes, I do, but not always.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow, unbelievable.
It's not always
Look
done
what
in
what
3
was that?
strokes, boys.
Oh, finally you get in there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I did.
We're talking about
It was a joke. Yeah,
we're talking about the attempt.
yeah. It was a joke. Alright.
My bad.
Go through the nose.
Over there. It's up
Okay.
over there. So I'm gonna go
I'm going
pretty
to.
good.
No.
This way.
Hey, Dan.
Wrong course. I'll like go through the nose and we're not even to that course yet.
Just to give you a
Eagle
heads
though.
up, I'm 2 3/4.
Probably should have got gas today.
In between the 2
Oof.
greens.
Yeah, Eagle.
Probably should have, coulda, woulda.
Hey, I'm
Does
a
that mean you're gonna get it
ball.
super early?
Take
Aim it.
birdie.
2 3/4, aim in between the greens, and then you get round the back.
Ooh,
and then you
ads.
just
Dang
go
it. Dang it.
the one with the advice? Because we're already in the hole.
Yeah, I'm already in the hole. I'm reading a book.
Mhm.
Yo.
First strokes.
You're the only one.
I'm over here reading a book. Dream
Oh my gosh.
just
Lego!
Dream, bitch.
Thank you so much for gifting artist a sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Dream, just focus on the hole.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Oh, he's so close.
Somebody's going for the 69.
I tell you what, I fucking rimmed it about
Oh,
4 times.
Tank's in the
He's
lead.
a little high for the 69 now.
There's only a couple people right now
Yeah, I
that can
definitely
hit
am.
69.
I rimmed it
I
about
cannot.
4. Rimmed it
Oh,
about
look.
4 fucking times.
Go through the nose.
You're welcome. Whoever hit me.
So, no, so.
Well,
Oh,
you could imagine being in first place with 69. What does that mean? Like you
Sure.
like a legend?
What the heck? How did I bounce around inside the nose? I'm invincible now. Great.
I had
Hit
that
me.
Right off, I had that right off the
No,
bat.
dreams. Oh, never mind. That's not a bad thing. Thank you for hitting me.
I had that right off the bat.
Thanks for hitting me.
Fucking did.
Thanks for hitting me.
I'll get a
That was
bogey.
lovely.
Thank you.
Hey, Wormadam. Catch Wormadam. Poke poke catch.
No.
What?
That ain't
No,
coming
I'm
up
at
the
the
left
wrong way. Yeah.
Otherwise, you
Getting
end up
that
on the long
nostril
trick.
is the exact thing you need to do.
Yeah, I know. I got right into it after a couple tries.
So that's where the left eye lands you, Sith. It's like an extra stroke just to get there.
You know what
Okay.
you get? I don't know.
Poke. Do I have it?
What hole are we on? It's 18.
It won't tell me.
I've
Oh,
got a
Tank
brief-
won.
69!
He
He won
69.
Also
twice!
had 69.
He got 69 and first place!
Nothing.
Congratulations! I've not seen that before! Congratulations!
I don't know what to do. Like, this is
I
like.
think
gotta
this
get a
is
refund.
actually
I'll
the
be back in a
second
few.
time this has happened.
69
Alright.
If memory serves.
Not here.
No, this
If
is-
you're joining-
this is all-
You know the password.
drink.
I gotta go refill my drink already.
Well, we just call a Hall of Famer.
It's
but
gonna be
You
a
know
good
what?
night.
The
that's what
first
Hall of
time I
Famers
did this,
do.
it was on Candyland.
Well, look,
Believe it or not.
Did
I
you?
remember it.
I'm just gonna put this out there.
Rigged? Yes, 353 times it's been rigged. Nobody caught the Pokemon. But
Are you
I'm
guys
at
ready
home.
for me
I gotta
yet?
go get more.
Everyone in the
A
room.
glass for me? I will do. I have a glass of wine
Round
just for
is
you.
over, Tifa. Should be able to join.
Okay, I know the password. I don't remember the password.
I'll DM it to you.
Okay.
Alright, thank you.
Do we have
Yeah.
room?
Hold on. The score was 69. When everyone comes back with a drink, then we're having a cheers. We're having a wee drink to that 69.
I'll have,
accident.
I'm having a fruit flow. That's what I'm having. Actually, you're right.
Okay,
The card. Lady Ryan. Okay, I got that. It's up to
Rain.
them. Rain. Sorry.
Okay.
I read it wrong.
I know it's spelled with a Y. It's easy to do.
Okay, is this all lowercase?
Yes.
Okay. I can remember how to do this for a second.
When Komodo comes back, we're having
Artist, we're gonna fight.
69.
I want a different trail. That's a good question.
There I am. Oh,
Hey,
it would help to turn it on my stream.
There's no mod by the name of Ryan.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, no.
It's Friday.
Oh, no.
My first day. Not my first full day on vacation yet, but I'm home, regular home, and I'll be home until not this Sunday, but next
Welcome,
Sunday.
Jade. Jade. Unknown Link. Oh, I like that name. Cool. Welcome, Jade. I hope you had an awesome stream while you were playing Genshin. Welcome.
Right.
I'm back. But yeah, thank you so much for that follow. Thank you. Welcome, Raiders. We're playing golf with friends at the moment. Welcome. It says computed fungus. Oh my gosh. Welcome. I like your name. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome, welcome, Jade. I hope you're doing beautiful. I hope you're doing awesome and amazing. We are raising funds for St. Jude this month. Do not feel obligated, but just to let you guys know. Oh my god, the Hello Kitties. I forget everything every time I see those. I love Hello Kitty. Rangex, welcome Rangex. Welcome back, welcome back. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's Friday. I'm so happy it's Friday. I can't wait. I'm playing golf with friends with all my peeps, and it's a great time. Mono might be feeling the adult grape juice. I am super happy today, I will admit. I'm just so glad it's Friday. It was a long week. I'm happy too. I'm so glad you're happy. Come on now. Yes, Range. Range X. Hello, hello, hello with the Paimons. I love Paimon. Okay, who here either loves Paimon or doesn't love Paimon? I hear so many mixed feelings about Paimon from people. Honestly, I love her to death. At first, I didn't. And then later, I just like fell in love with her because she's just like the comedic relief the whole time. Alright, artist. Paimon is great in my opinion. Paimon is our bestie. Yes, I love Paimon. I understand every time somebody goes, oh god, not Paimon, I just giggle inside because I just love her so much. Oh, I just did the event and got the cat for my teapot, and that made me so happy. Did you get the kitty cat for your teapot too? We can't go on our journey without Paimon, of course. It just wouldn't be right. Okay, what? Yeah, we got raided, Jeff. I got a kitty cat for my teapot in Genshin, and I can pet the kitty cat. Mr. Pouncelot is his name. He is adorable. I gotta go cook dinner though. Have a great stream. Thank you. I should get back to my golf peeps too and tell them hi. Get back to streaming. So yeah, let me pull these guys up and get back in here and get live. I'm back. Hi, Tippa, and everybody on Tippa's stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
My cat right there next to the window.
Hi,
I don't know
Afro.
if you can see her.
Welcome to the stream. Aw,
Not
kitty
trying to
cats.
land on the back of the love seat.
I know, I'm terrible. I ran away. Oh, are we ready to hit start? I think we're ready.
Yeah.
Everybody here?
What's that? Oh, is that a pound coin?
Yeah, pound
boy.
coin.
Oh no, not the same game!
Wow, unbelievable.
What game? You know, you have the course set to random, right?
Oh, please, please.
Oh, I do!
Because
Why did it give us the deep twice though?
it wants us to get deep, but let's not.
Yeah, this is a PG.
Okay, we're backing out. We can't do the deep twice.
I'm
Okay.
oh, deep.
So what do we do?
Retire.
Retire?
I don't want to
Yeah.
get deep again.
Yeah.
Retire?
Yeah, I'm so sorry guys. We're not doing this one twice, because
Oh no, this is nonsense.
that's crazy. Alright, I'm typing in the password.
Who is texting me? My goodness.
I can't
Not
join.
me.
I
Not
can't,
you.
I can't join a one.
Alright, I'm back up. I just got it back up, so now try to
There you
join.
go.
Hey buddy, how are you? Yeah. Afro, I hope you're doing awesome. Yes, look at it. Enjoying your day off. I'm glad you're getting to enjoy your day off, and it's so good to have you here, Jeff. It's a rare
Yeah,
Jeff
it's about
sighting.
fucking time that I don't have to do the job.
We have a mod in chat.
For those,
Well, Shane's there too, but he's playing. He's playing as well.
And mod.
for those that don't know, I am now on a 9-day holiday, and I cannot fucking wait for just being off of work. So good. I
What?
know
That is awesome. 90 is excellent.
we get the tennis clap, but in
Alright, we're
No.
gonna load.
That's the
No.
golf clap.
I'm just so
I think we're
fucking
ready.
relieved.
Q?
So relieved.
Oh, I gotta change the game thing. That would be great.
Random would be nice.
Why does it go random right to the deep?
Forest.
Right to
And no, we just did random 2 times in a row, and it gave us the deep both times. So that's
Yeah,
I
that's
was thinking-
not random. That is
We could do Curse
deeply
Forest.
concerning.
Could be
It
yours.
was messed
Deeply
up.
concerning.
Okay, it's set for Kimono, it's set for Collision On, it's set for the forest. We can all do the
Jump?
forest and
Can we
survive.
Yes.
Do we have
Yes.
jump? Okay.
Yes, once I set it to Kimono settings, we can jump. Shade's
Jump,
gonna
jump,
rage.
jump.
Jumpies.
Ooh, strawberry
Chris
wine.
House gonna make you jump.
Jump around.
This is a rose. I wish it was strawberry.
I'm done customizing.
I wish it was. Strawberry would be.
Well,
So...
Wait,
Custom.
what is custom on forest?
It is strawberry in color. It's
Oh,
very
it's just
pretty.
the
Custom.
settings she's using.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Custom settings.
Who wants to be first? Ooh.
Fuck.
we'd have
I'm
no
always
fear.
first.
You should get more sake. Mmm.
I should have been a hole in one, and I
I haven't
got
been-
fucking.
I haven't had sake since I went to the Japanese steakhouse. Like, for some reason, it just tastes different there. I have this
You
one
tried
place that
making
I
it,
go
I saw
to,
that,
and it's
you
just so
tried.
good there.
Okay.
When I try heating it up myself, it's just not the same.
On the topic
Oh
of
yeah,
like,
look at all y'all getting holes in ones.
I got a hole in
Yeah,
three.
I
This
know.
is
I
actually
know how
my
to get a hole in
worst
one in
time.
the
I like
hole.
Wow.
One flower color.
can I let you in on something? Well, maybe it's not so
Mhm.
small, but I've never been to Hibachi, and I would
That's okay.
love- would
You have to
love-
go one day.
To
have
be
to go to
fair, it's
Hibachi
called
one day.
Teppanyaki generally,
Peter.
but hibachi.
My
is
favorite
for-
wine is White Zinfandel. Yeah,
One
in
of my
Florida,
favorite things.
here we call them hibachi. You're a Japanese hibachi.
No,
You're...
Exactly.
Is
Me.
somebody gonna hit me in?
No,
No.
no.
We can.
Aw.
We don't want to touch your ball. That's gross.
Your ball is green. Hold on, your ball
You
is
came in
green.
after me. What is going on?
Hold on, Flint.
I'm sorry if
Your
I've
ball
said
is
this
green,
multiple
so I
times,
don't
but
wanna
just
touch
to
it.
I waited for
but
you. I
shut
thought
big
you all to go,
chatter.
guys.
Oh,
I
yes.
saw that.
Chatter
I saw
rocks
that.
tonight. Yes, do it.
Hey, that's a strategy. Come on.
Oh my gosh, I like
Oh
way over that.
no.
For supper, do it. It sounds so good.
You gotta run the clock.
Anything
down
with
one
cheese.
time, Tifa.
Oh no. Why am I gonna be over
Oh
one?
no.
Jeebus.
I
I
like
don't get a
brats.
zero on
Brats are
every hole.
good. They have like these spinach artichoke ones that I had before that are so good.
Oh, come
These-
on.
Chicken, spinach, artichoke brats.
One in a bit, buddy. One in a bit.
One in a bit.
Don't eat your meat. You can't have any pudding. Yes, eat your meat.
Balls?
Yeah.
There you go.
Artist
Don't
is really
tell
good at eating
Biggles
meat.
how
I would
to
know.
power his ball.
He can play with his balls however he wants.
Here we have Lady Rain divulging all your secrets, artist.
I'm just telling them how to correctly put it in the hole.
Hey, we're talking dreams of giving instructions on how to play with your balls properly, apparently.
Yeah.
Hey yo, I had no link.
That's the normal.
Yeah, welcome to the stream. It's Friday night.
Yeah,
Shane needs to mod us all. You know, that's the kind of nights we have on Fridays.
Life
Not
lessons,
fair.
you're gonna
A lot of streams were more chill, playing Stardew.
Mono?
But Friday nights we go hog wild most of the time.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
can't judge this stream on a Friday.
Yeah, that's where the majority
Yeah, I
of
guess
my
it-
quotes come from.
Fuck.
These guys, it's
Yeah.
from Friday night.
That one's not.
Except for that one's from Stardew.
Oh no.
That's what you're saying is that we set a very poor
What?
example.
Yes.
Oh my god.
No, we set a very real example.
It's so good to see you,
the real
lovely.
life example.
Gonna make me smile.
Nobody
Just see
can kick
Lynn's
you out
face.
now.
It's about 2.5 feet off the middle board. Oh, sorry, off
Yeah,
the bottom
apparently
board.
I
Can't
did
judge
that
a
with
stream by its
card.
thumbnail. That's
I
true.
think you did. You almost knocked me out of the hole.
Oh, well.
Stan, or should I make Stan? Oh my god, don't tease me with Stan. I've been on the
Are you
seafood
serious?
kick
Are
like
you serious?
crazy. I want all the seafood. I had shrimp
You
last
have an
night.
Apple
I want
Watch, I wouldn't say.
salmon. I want scallops. I don't know what I'm craving or need in my diet, but I want seafood.
Hey, serious? You're right. I shouldn't say that.
Can I
Yeah,
pop
I know,
in
like,
first?
you have an
Apple
Game or
Watch.
two?
Hey,
Yay! Please
girl.
do.
Also, big you.
Big you.
Damn, boy.
Big me.
Apparently, yeah, you've been on big you for a few holes.
Yeah, when I typed in my password, so yeah, it's been a while.
Everybody. Can
You guys are not gonna tell me you can't
Damn it.
see the game. You just want to watch blonde me do blonde things and drink wine.
Yeah.
I'm losing, honestly, because like it's really great.
Salmon has a lot of potassium. Oh, maybe I need some bananas then. I do like bananas.
Hank,
too.
you gotta
Me.
move.
I'm trying.
Yeah, Tank, you get him.
Move it, move it, move
You're
it.
not, you're not enough.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
hi.
Ran into Tank. Oh, then I just sabotaged myself.
Satisfaction.
Hey, my wine matches your wine.
I'm patiently
Yay!
waiting because I haven't.
I know.
Mono!
Precisely why I didn't.
Hank!
Wait.
I need y'all to move.
God damn it, I get a poke.
Why?
Why do you keep getting
Oh,
pushed off
thanks.
the course? What's going
Your
on?
dice
dude?
knocked me to the side.
You're stuck.
They
Ghost
definitely didn't.
When I was
You
being
knocked
Quick.
me.
Somebody fucked
I
you
just
up,
wanted to
dude.
touch you.
I know.
Oh,
I know. You always want to touch balls. It's okay.
Hi, Nick Daddy. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to a wild night. Oh, also, guys, if you're catching Pokemon, wild Poliwag.
And I'm already like 4 from the bottom. You don't need to be doing that.
Alert. Thank you so much for that alert, Nick Daddy.
Get in there, Dream.
I'm
mate,
still
I
in
thought it
second.
was- I thought it was in there in one. Won't lie to you.
Oh, no.
Salmon
I was
burgers.
in there in two,
Oh,
but I was in there in
or
two.
brats.
I was in one. I got a.
Brats would be a lot faster, probably, to
I got
make, I'm
3.
guessing. Are salmon burgers
Only
kind of
one,
like
baby.
making salmon patties and then you actually just put it on a bun or something? Because I used to make salmon patties. and they're so good.
No.
I just
Yeah.
have to jump there, not let yourself fall. You can jump there and make it in there.
If you don't get caught on the steps.
Someone fucked
The patties are pre-made? Oh, yeah, I've never had
Some people
those.
make their own, but
See, I make salmon patties and eat them straight up with mustard because I'm weird.
Efron, you were in the corner. Ah.
I decided I want brats
He said-
and we'll make the salmon patties tomorrow
You
for
could've
lunch or something.
jumped over
Sounds
the-
good.
I know.
But salmon patties
You
and
guys
with
are
like
already, you guys are already
canned
warmed up. This is my
salmon.
first game
No,
of the
I
night,
just
so.
want to give you.
saltines
I'm in last place because I'm the best.
and mix it together.
Oh, fuck
Cook it in a
Oh,
skillet with a little bit of oil.
Hit me.
Make them crispy, and then eat them with mustard.
Actually, I was.
You have
tame,
leftover
so I didn't
spaghetti?
have much choice in
You
that.
should eat the spaghetti then, and then you don't even have to cook
You're
tonight.
not even going to the right hole.
Sorry.
I went to the wrong hole once.
Why?
Once, and I will never do it again.
What hole?
Hold on. Did I
Where's
just hear
hole?
Kimono say? Did I just hear Kimono say I went to the wrong hole once?
yeah, it was
I
mine.
think we should, what's
In
it
the
called?
It was
context of
dark.
the game, right out of the gutter.
I had it for lunch every day, and this week's so long.
I'm
makes
been
sense.
into the game, but like, Jesus Christ, that's.
Down front.
Yeah, if you had it for lunch every day, you probably definitely want something different
Strongly
tonight.
to the left.
690
Mada, what?
No rush.
I did poke catch? What am I missing, Jeff?
Okay.
You guys are unhinged and I love it. We're definitely unhinged when we play golf or we play marbles.
You guys do realize
Mostly
you
with
should probably
golf.
not listen to
Mostly
this
golf
anyway, right?
streams were really
I'm just
unhinged.
trying to help you. There you go.
That's
Yep.
you. That's you.
And now you can go straight in.
I take that as a compliment though. I
You
know,
give
like,
me, like, what
it's like this. Shane tries to control us, but it doesn't go so well.
Quarter.
Let him get a feel for it, guys.
Yo. I don't
You
need everyone
did Nick
fucking telling me
Dothy?
what to do.
I
was in
mean,
second
he was
place
already
and no one's-
lurking.
Giving honest advice.
Yes, artist.
I
That's
will
such a
tell
good
you what to
song.
do.
Hello?
There, we'll burn somebody as well.
I fucking
Jade!
I hate you so.
Oh, this one.
Let
is
me put
fucking
her out
crazy.
quick.
Hole in one.
Yeah, you have to put the last one.
Clear shot to that. I had a clear shot to that.
Oh,
Don't you be
This
kissing
is
my man.
Shane.
How dare you, artist?
Listen,
Yeah, if you date Shane, you get
No.
blue chickens. We all know this. Starting
No.
facts.
Nice jump swings.
yeah,
Hole in
know,
one.
I know the answer.
She kissed
But-
my Shane.
No way.
Yeah,
Is this
that's like
normal?
Here
we
go. First shot.
Shane the bot is hooking us up.
TTV
Again.
Dave.
We do love us some blue chickens. Yes, blue chickens.
Shut the fuck up.
Every time I would date Shane in Stardew Valley, poor Shane is sitting here modding, going, what? what? What'd you say? What are you calling me? I'm like, no, Shane in the game,
Oh,
not
okay,
you.
okay.
There we go. Nice hit.
He would be totally like,
Yeah. Birdie.
talking to me.
Let's fucking go.
Oh, you got range. Slap this tomorrow.
Aw.
Cats don't usually like water and rain. I appreciate you getting me all wet though, but I don't like water.
I'm
wet?
always real good at making you wet.
Oh, James, she
Wait,
wants to
what?
be wet.
Shane has enough love for both of us. Aww.
No.
Nice shot, Arnie.
Aw. The only thing I care about is Emily.
He shots.
You can't have Emily. That blue-haired chick is my babe.
What do you think
No
you
way.
did the entire time she was here, artist?
Me.
Gosh.
I
I met her wet every time.
Can I just find out drink?
Yes. Cheers, guys. Cheers if you're in chat. Cheers, people in Discord.
I'll drink my water. Cheers.
Yes, cheers with water if you have it.
Water
As
can't
long as you
keep
have
drunk,
fluids,
silly.
drinking fluids is important.
Yo,
Yeah.
cheers with whatever you got. Don't be
Mhm.
caught up
Mhm.
in
What
the
did they
distinction
do to
between
turn
just do what you do. Oh,
It's contagious though, unknown. You better watch out. It's contagious.
I'm
just
watching
saying.
everybody fuck up so badly. I'm just sitting here.
Good.
I'm one of the cheats.
I do. Sometimes the more I drink, the better I get. So, you know.
Yeah, the more
I
cheat
feel like
codes
at
you
some
know.
point we're just gonna have to like start recording my burps
Uh,
and then just have that as the rock sound.
I know.
hey, even after 3 failed attempts, I got it in one.
Not one of my better moments on a Pokemon stream, considering those are pretty mild streams when I had them.
I got it on some
Oh yeah.
Loading.
To be fair, that was that was
something I watched
Voltorb. It was Voltorb. He was gonna
Yeah.
explode and kill me. He was gonna murder me.
He do be exploding on people.
whoa, oh.
You know what?
Don't drop.
Two bald people just in the horny jail. We need. Oh, do we
Do I
need
need
a
to make
command?
you an emote?
Do we need a command? A horny jail command or an emote with a bonk hammer?
Wait,
It goes
who's
with it.
horny? What's going on?
I'm always not.
Getting horny. Oh,
Guys, the
I'm
Viking
gonna lose
moment.
it.
it's
Trust me,
okay.
you'll
It's okay,
know
Split.
why I'm drugs.
Unknowingly.
We respect all sexualities, even asexual personalities here in chat.
You don't have to be horny. You could just also get horny.
Bonk. That's
I'm never
what they are. Bonk, I
Only
like
honey
it.
for nothing.
I just sneezed water because of
All this
that.
horny talk's gonna make me horny.
Yeah,
Like,
Wiggle. Mm.
Run.
but you stuck around, so
You stuck around. You
It's
stuck
like Wiggles
around.
is like, I
Yeah.
can't get up
Stuck
now.
around.
I just can't get up because there's.
I'm about to
I like
the shit out of you
myself.
over it.
He's daddy over it? Wow, I don't even know where to go with that.
What?
Wow, if you just hit the...
I said I was gonna gaslight him over it.
Oh, the touches.
We all like to touch each
Shane
other.
and
in
I
that
are touching
corner,
balls.
Yeah.
Albatross.
That is the touching corner.
The touching corner.
Thanks for touching balls with me, Shane.
Kidding me?
The opposite of elementary school and timeout corner. It's the touching corner.
Yeah.
Come on,
this
Ken,
is
thank
the
you.
dog corner.
Yeah, I was supposed to have
Oh,
a
you-
double eagle, but no, I stopped short.
I'm banned from the touching corner.
If you are feeling lonely, just hang out in that
Why am I
corner.
not
Eventually,
surprised?
somebody's gonna touch you.
I got touched hard.
Guys, I get to play D&D on 420.
Nice.
Yes.
No, that's when the playoffs start. NHL
Everybody
playoffs.
goes for the balls, but nobody knows how to
Let's
balls.
see. No, I
And
just
you can
missed
bet
it.
your butt. I am probably taking a hit.
Oh my god, you hit the living shit out of me. I thought you were gonna hit me. Oh fuck, I hit it too hard. No! No. I can save this.
Sorry.
No.
Par 5.
Yeah.
Watch out. It's gonna be a barrage.
No.
Don't
Okay,
get
good.
in the wrong hole.
I want to kind of.
I almost did.
I'm trying to make
I fucked up so badly.
I
Well,
wanna
that fucking sucks now, don't it?
I'm trying to test this joke. What's the
No.
difference between SpongeBob SquarePants theme tune and a priest? It's
Oh, listen,
alright.
Okay.
It's alright for the theme tune to turn on and say, "Are you
Stuck behind ads. What happened? Well, you just got kissed on the cheek, but you have to choose which cheek. That's the rule. Or run away. If you don't want it, run away. Exclamation run.
I'm trying to make
That's not appropriate.
What if
No.
what the is butter so
No,
addictive?
James,
Like I
absolutely
just
not.
want to
I'm not
eat
here.
the stick. Don't eat the stick of butter.
Oh my
Please
God,
don't eat
why?
the stick of the butter.
The stick of butter.
It'll probably send you to the bathroom.
Butter.
I feel that.
It's
I
gonna
fucking
make you-
love butter.
Below
No,
the map.
too far.
Oh,
No!
fucked up.
You're just supposed to aim for the V, according to Lemon and Thor, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, go
Oh,
to the top
no.
of B.
I went over it. Oh,
Honestly,
no.
they should be teaching this whole in all the schools.
Even cats like watching
I
me. This
fucked
is
up.
true. It's a fact.
No, butter. No.
Definitely always aim for the V.
Why did I do cat? Oh my god.
Wow.
Aim for the
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you for the follow unknown. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Welcome to the
Where
community.
the little dot
Oh,
shows
no.
up.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Sorry,
Alright.
sorry.
I'm
dude.
just glad I'm in the hole.
You're not.
In Discord, where our historian has helped us name our community Kimonia. Where is our historian? I think they're gonna join us for a game, maybe.
Yeah, birdie fuck.
Oh dang.
I was gonna get in the hole and you
Wait until we start measuring things with senpais again and halfanies.
You pushed me out. You pushed me out. I didn't
pushed
like
you?
it.
Did it feel good though?
You're about to get in the hole and then you got pushed out. That's
Dude,
Did it feel good though?
She fucking.
Yeah, I'll have fun for a sec. On the next one. Okay.
Me.
Discord, yes.
Yep.
Feel free to join Discord. Come hang out. If you're new to my stream, I am a variety streamer. I do community night games on Fridays. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Stardew, but I also like to draw and paint. Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I paint Pokemon paintings mostly. The next one will be 3 paintings that go together. I'm going to be painting Gengar, Umbreon, and Mewtwo. So.
I'm dying, Mono.
She'll paint you.
What? Don't die.
Some nipples.
Whoa.
Wait,
What?
Somehow.
What about nipples?
He does have nipples.
Nipples
What about the
red,
thing you have asked?
You don't have nipples. Oh my god. Why? When did I ask that? And why? I don't even know.
As of the end
It
of
was a
March
weird
last
date.
year.
Come on.
The end of March last year. Obviously, I did at the end of March last year because we haven't in recorded history here.
Wow.
Maybe
But-
that much you were
Oh,
just
no.
buried
What am I
in-
doing
Why I said that.
Yeah,
I
probably
was
gotta
just
go.
trying to find.
No, because you're a very.
Usually, there's a real world reason why I say the things I say, and then they quote me on them.
I like your,
out of
I like
context.
Your strategy.
No go.
I like your
Got lucky with
strategy.
that bug.
This floor is made out of floor.
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh my god.
Oh, and Windows came in at the last second and ruined it.
Oh yeah.
Filter EXE is no longer wanted to
Yeah, that's
exist.
our
I
It's
hear
like-
that a lot.
Oh yeah. There's
Windows, I
mine.
didn't mean to get into your-
J1, he got 69.
Sorry.
About what?
God damn.
To be fair, is there
No,
really a
literally,
lot
is
of
it?
context around it? I don't know. I don't remember that event.
That was a year ago, so who knows?
I don't remember
probably
what was
wasn't
going
any.
on in my
A
head.
year ago. Hold up. What?
Dude, I don't even
Do
know
ducks
this.
have nipples? I don't remember this quote. I don't remember this event, this conversation.
It wasn't ducks. It was just, Greg, I have nipples. Can you milk me?
Oh, we lost Cliff.
No, the quotes.
I don't know anything.
What? What did you just ask if we could do, Slugs?
Can you milk me?
He said, "I have nipples. Can you milk me?"
Oh my god.
That's from a
Oh
movie.
my
I didn't come up with that.
No, this is his original.
Oh Christ!
I'm
You
not.
guys are awesome today, I'll tell you what.
Thank you, Wiggles, for having a good time.
Oh,
Ooh, what?
OMG, okay.
I'm
I'll
just
take
trying to
care.
find.
I'll tell you what.
I was cockblocked. I didn't get to finish golf. Oh my god.
I'm
Golf
just trying to find a
Golf is not-
particular quote.
Hey, you
I
have
can't
all the
remember what
time
it
you need
is.
to type out your
I have sensitive nipples.
Oh my god.
A lot of nipples.
I didn't say that one. I don't know who said that one, but we quoted it.
I only got one.
Oh, Mono touched my ball.
Oh my god.
I was having an ADHD moment and singing in your head. In my head.
Wasn't me.
It was
head.
Caught me.
Ah.
It
Lady
wasn't
Rain
me.
over there.
I'm on shrooms
I'm
confirmed.
trying to find this quote.
What do you mean?
Yeah, Paimon on
What
shrooms.
quote is
I remember that. I
have
gotta
to
take
find
a
it.
leak. No, say a leak. Oh, a Stardew leek. The vegetable.
Yep.
Dang it.
That would do it.
I'm gonna lurk while I get ready for work
We
tomorrow.
got
Have fun.
Peter.
Thank you so much, Shane, for being here. Thank you so much.
Shade,
Good
take
luck,
care.
Jeff. You're dealing with us now, Jeff. It's you.
We love you.
Hey, lemon drop.
Lemon.
Welcome, Lennon. Welcome to stream. Welcome to chat. Welcome to. I'm never taking you all with me to the bathroom again. Oh my god, Chef Squad, and I took you guys to the bathroom.
Oh my god.
Damn,
Not the
Coco.
It's not what it sounds like.
We're very
It's
mature
not
here.
what it sounds
Oh,
like.
there it is. It's quote 42.
I did not take my mic with me to the
That's the one I
bathroom.
was looking for.
Oh, yeah,
It
I
was
heard all
just-
those parts. Don't lie.
They were in my ear. They were in my ear because of my earbuds. See this thing. And I took them with me, and they literally trolled me, knowing I was using the bathroom.
Oh yeah, I was there actually. Not in the but you
Who touched my balls?
You were in the bathroom.
No, I'm talking about.
Catch you guys in the next stream. I'm gonna go make dinner. Okay, and Emily, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Good luck with your dinner. I hope you eat something amazing. And feel free to join my Discord if you choose
I
to.
had my headphones on.
And I will catch you on the flip side.
And we are normal people.
You play chess club without me?
And you're a
Yeah,
dumbass.
you play chess
Beautiful.
club.
Okay, I'm
Alright.
half normal.
Is everybody ready for me to hit start? Or is
No, I have,
No.
I have to pee.
I gotta
have to pee first.
recustomize my thing.
I have to see you before I
Everybody go
wipe
pee.
your
and
Okay.
get a
hands.
drink.
Well, hurry up and take y'all's breaks, so let me know when you're back.
I already got it here, so I'm good.
Yeah, Chef Squad was fun though. It really was. But it's a lot of work. You ready, Mono? I'm glad you're ready, because you got your hands full tonight. Good luck.
Oh. Monty,
It's too much.
Monty, get me a soda.
I have not heard that sound in a long time. We just had the Godzilla roar in chat because Dragon Chris is here. Welcome! Welcome to the stream, man. I hope you're doing awesome and keeping well. It's so good to see you. I hope life is treating you well. Yes, all the chaos. You gifted Jeff a sub. Thank you. Alright, testing my memory now that I'm on wine. I think Chris is the reason I know Jeff. Am I correct? I believe so. All those years ago.
It's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't know.
How did you remember?
Time to see if I cooked these all the way through. I hope you did. Don't eat it raw. But yes, hype and chat. Thank you so much for that.
That should be okay.
Hype, hype. I'll hype
Thanks,
here.
baby.
Hype.
Night man, yes. That's right, yes.
Don't cook that shit through and through.
I have
Yes.
the best slave ever, guys.
Make sure
Yeah, I met Dragon Chris because of, I met Jeff because of Dragon Chris.
Well, I will never tell anybody.
They
how
taste
they're doing
cooked.
I will.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, they probably didn't take that long, I hope.
Juicy. Always
I
I
better.
don't
don't know,
back.
girl.
I
Welcome back,
love
welcome back.
Gucci.
I remember watching a,
Huh?
I remember watching a clip from it was what the fuck was it, like Hell's Kitchen or something like that, and this lady comes from always being one of the
Let's see.
eating
Doing a thing real quick.
and she takes the plate up to the front pass, and she says, "Oh, I asked for well done, not medium rare." And
Oh,
you
Jesus.
gave this to me with no chips or no sides or whatever. And Gordon Ramsay turned around and says, "Well, you've already fucked over the meat, so why the fuck should I give you anything else?" And I burst out laughing. I was like, "Why the fuck would you order well done to a
Something good for something. Jokes.
Yeah, why would
The
you pay $100
2.5
for a
GPA.
fuck?
Yeah, like you're
Dalton
I'm
is
not
the best slave.
Wow.
Oh my god.
to soothe the palate.
Does Dalton know that way? You feel that way about him, Lady Ray?
Absolutely raging.
Oh.
So, in general,
I did say it out loud and he didn't hear.
Oh, he done got me a Pepsi even
Okay.
though I was closer because I can't be bothered to get up due to pain. Oh,
I
that
don't-
was sweet of him to get up for you.
So I
Hi,
messaged
Dusty,
him
Dusty,
like,
Dusty.
hey, grab me a Pepsi.
No, that was so
He's
sweet
like,
of him to
"Bruh."
come do that because he knows you're hurting.
That-
All right, we're
that's
gonna
a
start this
standard.
game if everyone's back.
Okay,
Oh no,
I didn't look
Which
like
is why I
Joffrey
didn't
left.
move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's taking a massive dump.
who's
Dude,
taking
we
a
do
shit?
that in our household. Because
By the way, lady,
We're-
how is your ankle doing?
where we are.
Oh, yeah,
throughout
kimono.
the house,
I,
you could just
Now you can
Something
hear
in
us, Chris.
self-promotion.
Yeah.
Sort of
Oh, did you?
Constantly.
Okay.
Something big coming
How's
up
it
for
walking
me.
around yet?
Okay, let me look.
Wiggles, what were you saying?
How's your ankle?
No, it's just
Oh,
saying
your stack up event
Yeah, I know.
fundraiser.
He said
Sweet,
something
sweet.
about walking.
Yeah, I'm doing St. Jude's in May. Well, actually, kind of started now. But yeah, I forget you do
Can you?
Do you
Phasmo
Yeah.
charity. Oh, we're gonna be playing
Well,
Phasmo.
the toilet?
Yeah,
many
for whole
people.
12 hours.
Shout, like, this might take-
Dang.
No?
But yeah, we're
Yep,
ready.
it's gonna be on
Yeah.
my own personal stream.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So that's
There
why
you
I
go,
said
Lynch.
please
She's
stay
like-
safe.
Get in, get out. I don't know.
No.
I'm
A
glad
lot
you
of
can hear us
people-
again.
Sit down and think.
A lot of people want to do the $100 one.
The only point where a phone does not go.
Make us suffer and
If
just
it
have so
does,
much
just
chaos.
sit there,
Oh, yes.
Suffer and
Like,
succotash.
flicking through fucking shorts or whatever else. But the
Yeah,
like,
we're
they
ready.
Can, they can
Okay.
look through the wall and be like, hey,
And then I was
I'm just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck, man.
saying, Chris, when you couldn't hear, was that Jeff, the reason I know Jeff is because of you, Chris. Thank you.
It is a shy guy Argus.
Jeff is the shy guy he rarely is. Okay, I'm gonna go off Big Me before I forget, and then we'll go back to playing this game.
Right.
Since you guys said you're all ready.
Oh, Candyland.
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 It's my
My
favorite.
fantasy heart.
Well, I mean, I'm not a 4.0 like you are, so I would, you know.
Fun fact.
This first one,
I've
really
never
effed
played the
me
real
up.
Candyland.
Oh, fuck.
This first one really effed me up.
What?
Well, then watch me. Watch somebody that does it before you. Just sit there.
Wow, I didn't even make it across the whatever.
It's like
Oh,
just
I
over
ended up in the
3.
Oh my
And
god.
a little bit
Dream.
left of the right wafer. The left side of the right wafer. Just a little over 3.
Too much.
No, you fucking
Good
killed
cry.
her.
No, it's terrible.
Yo, Margaret!
I never had anybody to play Candyland with.
Someone's getting fucked.
Never played it.
Someone's getting the happy end of it.
Are you kidding me?
What?
6 strokes.
Mate, sometimes
play Candyland with you? Yes! Can we wear all pink?
Somehow I got a double
You
vote.
can wear black.
I don't mind wearing alternate costumes.
I can
but
wear pink.
Come on.
It's gonna be like one of these, what do you call it, kimono? You know, the fucking, what was it, the blue and gold? Where if you're like, oh yeah, this is a different color. Mate, you could do the pink and black.
It's been forever since I played
Gaffron, you need to
Candyland.
go a little bit harder.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, what if you had a Candyland themed, like,
That works.
a Hello Kitty Candyland, and then you
Now
had
you're in the hole.
Chromie for the goths and Hello Kitty
Or you
for
should be.
the all pink girls.
I'm sure there is a place like that where it's just
Yeah,
like,
if people think we're girlfriends. I mean, we aren't. I thought we were.
sure there is.
I thought the four, like the five of us in the Dead
Yeah.
Tribe were.
Yeah, we're all girlfriends, right? Right, Lemon?
I mean, that's what I was assuming. But I guess you know what
Wait,
happens when you assume things.
I was. Wait.
Yup.
Oh, why did I jump? I should have.
Mother bitch. No!
Father Marker?
With no space.
I should never have jumped.
Never jump.
Jump.
What the?
Tank jump, tank jump.
No,
Jump.
Tank didn't need to jump.
We all have that little tiny space between the two words. That's called
As it
the
jumps.
friend zone.
Yeah.
Oh no! Six is in chat. Hi guys. I was not talking about him earlier. No, not at all.
No, we're totally talking
It would
shit.
be more helpful if I
Ah.
had
Fuck.
them. I'm just messing with you.
Ooh.
I took it very personally. I'm offended.
I'm pretty sure you were.
No.
You're offended.
I might do that.
existed.
Rude, this is complete
Splashes. Rain,
God.
Rain, I have something very important to say.
Let's go 3. Let's go 3.
Oh no!
Me wet.
I fucked it up.
That's okay.
wet.
She gets me
Whoa,
wet
whoa.
too.
Oh, this is my friend I haven't played with in a while. Her name is Sumono.
Hi, chat. Hi to the chat.
22.
Yeah, I had somebody come in and said, this sounds like chaos. And I'm like, yeah,
It
I know
is
it does.
chaos.
Who is chaos?
You can turn us all down if you need to.
Oh no.
Fucker?
I have music.
Finally, I'm warm.
Ew.
Oh, you
No
motherfucker.
way.
At least you're not cold, so that'd be kind of weird.
You're in a
Yeah,
bit of a
just
bad
how
mood.
you are.
Yeah, no, that's a joke.
Oh, fuck.
No, I really messed up. I messed
Got
up
it.
so bad.
I did
fucked
that
up
hole so
bad, too.
perfectly that it wouldn't let me in.
My poor Gengar's flat.
Your Porkins.
Sounds like a
No,
problem
you know,
there.
I know. Like, I
It's
need to
45
go to the
degrees.
therapist.
Right?
Pretty chilly here today.
Is this game cross-platform, by the way? I don't think so. I think it's PC only.
Oh no!
All for the
Sadly.
I've been using Gengar for my
Cheers.
so he's flat.
Chocolate and wine. Best combination. Dark chocolate and
Oh,
wine.
I want chocolate.
Not me trying to talk to everyone in voice chat.
I want
You're always
I mean-
trying to talk to us. Fine.
We're listening artists.
Ow. Fuck.
What are you drinking tonight?
Huh?
What are you drinking tonight?
Mine.
A rose.
Strawberry wine.
Tea, are you?
Yep,
Mhm.
rosé is a wine.
vodka.
I was
She
looking
said it
at
earlier.
this- Oh, please get me in. Knock me in. Knock me in.
I downloaded it on my PlayStation.
Bitches.
I would be
Yeah.
awesome if it would let you play, but I don't know if it's cross-platform. I don't think it is.
Won't have
It's even more
Really
complicated
bounce
with
off my wall.
PlayStation than it
Are
is.
you drinking? Are you?
Sweet like
does.
strawberry wine.
on the conversation?
Sounds like a hoser song.
Are you
Hoser salad? A hoser? Who's a hoser?
Hoser song.
No,
Yes.
it's rosé.
It's rose.
Rose Zinfandel?
Hey,
Very different.
yeah, what?
Really?
It's just rosé.
Combination of
Well,
white
listen
and
to
Rose is not red and
Not-
it's not white. It's slightly pink and it tastes totally different.
Yeah, but that's a Zinfandel.
Oh, yeah?
No.
No, it's
Mm-mm.
not.
So
No, Very
No,
different.
The Zinfandel's a white wine.
It-
They would
it-
know.
It can't be.
They're the
it
wine
can have a pink
connoisseurs.
color. It can have
I
a
don't
pink
know.
color, but it's
I
not a
hit the
rosé.
door? Excuse me?
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Rose is wine. It's the
White
type of wine.
Zinfandel is very sweet.
Is
Rosé
it?
is
Well,
not.
yes, it is very sweet. But
I like the sweet.
I thought.
That's why I like Moscato.
Not for me, but it takes.
No,
Takes all
dinner
time.
first.
Moscato is super sweet.
Forgive my ignorance.
Love
I thought
Moscato.
that most roses were.
I have a
So
Riesling.
screwed.
My
Looked it up, and
bottle
yeah,
here
it's
is a
not.
Riesling.
Ah, dang it, Chris. We miss
I'm
playing
open
with
it.
you and hanging out, man.
I also
So
haven't
screwed
opened
on this
my
one.
What have you got?
Loki coffee, which I need to
Get
try.
in the hole, man.
You miss trolling me.
Also-
Remember when we could play whatever songs we
Rose.
wanted to on stream, and you would always troll me with songs while I was playing Marvel. Mm-hmm.
Before,
With
over,
lemon.
What?
Like the chicken dance and Baby
Oh, is she
Shark.
frozen? I think she's frozen.
I remember that.
Lemon!
Still hold
I
that
think
at
Lemon's
a.
frozen!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she froze!
Screaming goats, yes.
I was trying to show her the things, and she's frozen!
No, come back, baby, come back.
Lemon, where's Thor?
A wild leopard.
Okay,
A
she's
wild
back now.
Can you hear me?
leopard
Yeah, I can hear you.
appeared.
Look it!
Okay. He got a racing wheel for his computer, so he's.
Oh,
playing
so now
his own game.
he's gone for life.
He's hooked. He's hooked.
He's too much of an adult to play with us anymore.
Show you the back of it?
He's just gone.
Gross.
We're
Look
too
at the
immature
back.
on Friday nights for him to play with us. I see how it
Look
is.
at the back.
I wish Twitch would let us play copyright music.
I can't tell
We're-
if you can see it.
We aren't
That's
saying we made it
Gross.
our own. Exactly.
badass.
I wish to. I mean, because honestly, I feel like the artists themselves don't
It's super
mind.
soft too.
Because if you're playing their music through Spotify, they're getting paid for you to play their music. And you're just advertising their music. I feel like you're advertising their music. They're getting paid because you're playing their music. It's just the industry itself that hates it, not the artists. That's my understanding.
I think what the industry doesn't realize is the fact that, you know, there's a lot of people playing games.
It is free advertising. 100% free
Yeah,
advertising.
100%. And so what you'll get is
Hi, baby girl.
Benny Hill theme, I remember that.
you'll get the fact that when people play, you know, someone's songs, but they don't realize that the reach that gets them. Like there are people out there with fucking millions of viewers, whatever else, like 30,000 viewers on
Right.
each channel or whatever else, and if they play that song, even without the royalties or whatever else, that's gonna reach fucking millions of people, you know. So I think that they're actually losing out by not having.
Even the producers get a cut when it's streamed? Exactly.
Idiot.
Jumped.
It's just more Twitch doesn't want to be responsible or doesn't want to pay.
Well, they don't want
No,
to
it's probably came down to one company having an issue with it. Which
I almost went and I
Yeah,
went.
yeah, because Twitch is a business also. Yeah.
But still,
I'm sure Twitch isn't happy about it either, to be honest. They just.
I do agree with you though. If you're paying
Yeah,
it
they
through a
my.
paid service, you're contributing to their.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So that should
but-
automatically
Yeah.
give you a license.
Yeah, Twitch doesn't.
Yeah, I pay for Spotify.
I think the problem is
The artist is getting
Twitch
paid.
can't verify that we have the
Yeah,
license
that
to it.
too. But yeah,
I think that might be the issue.
Twitch
Mhm.
doesn't want any responsibilities.
what we're saying is the issue, the fact that
We can't have copyright music.
Mm-hmm.
what
Needed.
we're
Yeah.
saying is that the fact that
Twitter.
that people like Twitter, or whatever, aren't paying the legal fees in order to have that music, in which case you can't play it, or is it a case
You
of
can't hear Rain. Oh, you turn her up.
you're not
I don't know why.
because you know they just
She's one of the louder ones.
or
Those people are jerks and
Are
they
you
copy
kidding me?
music.
Are you
Miyamoto has to what tonight?
Wait,
You guys, it's your
Yeah.
fault.
Sorry, I got kicked out of the game. I hope it's not messing
okay.
things up.
No, it's not.
Nope.
That just
It's
makes
okay.
it so I
We
can
love
win
you, though.
now.
I'm gonna do it back.
Oh yeah.
Apparently
that's
me
so
and
funny.
Dragging
It was a joke.
Chris
No,
took a
good
water
idea.
fight. We'll call it that.
Not too good.
What if I?
So Splints does.
Oh, I didn't jump high enough.
Hey, Quince, you should moon him.
Oh, thank you for the hugs, Rain. Thank you. I haven't given hugs away today. Oh no, why did I go down there? No. There's nothing good down there.
Gotta get
I'm just
artist
gonna
wet
take the
now.
long way now.
You consider
Okay, I need to give hugs though. I haven't done that this stream. Oh,
How
of
dare you.
course,
Fuck
Lady
yeah.
steals
We
all
come
the
here for the
cookies.
hugs.
Damn right. I deserve them.
Yeah.
Lady Rain gets 500
Oh.
cookies.
Once get your hands off my woman.
You know
One of
how
my
you
favorite
feel about
things
getting licked? I mean, you can run away if you choose.
That's alright.
Right,
One of my favorite
Splits?
things.
Me, so, you know,
One of my
it's like
favorite
made
things
up
to say to
for.
people is hugs and high fives. Hugs and
Splits?
high fives.
How do you feel about
What?
getting licked?
I like being licked. What do you, what do you mean?
Oh, I need somebody to
Typical man.
What?
Unbelievable.
No, just went right for it. I love it.
What do you mean?
In chat, you just got licked by me, by the way.
Oh yeah, I like
God.
being licked. It's
Better
fine.
not be.
Well, you said
Too sober for this.
when I was at your house, you said you didn't like it.
It's because it was you.
God.
Fine, I won't lick you.
Run. Yes, Desi, run. It's not safe here. You might get licked.
Fine, I'm not.
I've
Again.
been doubly licked. Alright, fine.
I'm done licking people now.
Yeah, you should
It's
be.
okay. Cleo's licking everybody,
not.
or licking enough for everybody.
Cool.
Apparently, I lick bots
Okay,
too.
that was the wrong way to go.
Dude, all I do is lick.
Wait, oh my god, somebody licked the Pokemon community game.
That was me.
Yeah, it was Mono. She's really good.
I
at
like
making
bots. I'm not against bots. I love bots.
When you walk on the street,
I love-
she's like,
yeah.
Guys,
discriminate.
joining my
She's
stream, there's
looking
a lot of
everything.
chaos
It's like
going on right
Oh,
now.
no, not more.
Yeah, we apologize now. People on Tiff stream, we apologize now for the chaos. I promise
Yeah,
if we get to be too much, you
God,
can mute
don't worry
us.
about it.
Yeah,
I'm
we
18
are
plus.
Make
adults.
no apologies.
Yeah, we are adults. That's the issue.
Oh, ban. I'm kidding.
I apparently suck at this particular course.
Nose twitches. Oh no, why did your nose twitch? Michigan, that's a lie. Uh-oh, Artist is telling you that you're lying, Michigan. What did you say?
Well, what did I say?
You licked yourself. You
Oh,
gotta lick your
That's
paw
right.
and make sure
Thank
it's
you.
clean.
It takes some skill.
what did I do?
Gavron, you really helped me out. I
Okay.
really-
Posture check. Thank you, Chris.
Value,
Both
look-
feet on the floor.
I love
Ah,
you.
sit up straight.
Oh,
Black
shit.
catters. You got it, man. You got it.
Damn, I wish I can just change my ears.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
just-
funny that I licked myself.
Oh, come on.
Hello? Who did I hit? What?
I mean, that just means you're
You
part
stop
cat
there.
as well, and you gotta like lick your paws and clean yourself. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, the shower does it for me, but if you want,
No.
If you want to
Cute,
lick
cute.
me.
Yeah, that's because I got him.
Thank you, artist. Thank you, Chris.
this is why I have a shower.
Satisfaction.
Oh my god, the Dragon Prince is
Satisfaction.
kissing me.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with y'all today?
What is that from again, Splints? Why can't I remember?
Sorry, we don't.
It's a
we're not
commercial.
special
I
enough
know.
for that.
What is it from?
Could be.
Oh my
What?
goodness.
I knew it from Just Dance.
The satisfaction thing. What is that
Dang
from?
it.
Yeah.
We're gonna
It's
get
from
drunk
the
and we're gonna like
Benassi
it.
brothers.
Dude, I'm already in the hole, guys. Can
But
you
like,
guys
was it
hurry
a
up?
commercial?
I'm there.
Dude,
Satisfaction.
I've been in the
Seven
hole
strokes
for
later,
so long.
but-
that I'm there.
You made a stream costume wish list?
going
That's
there.
awesome. What kind of costumes did you put on there? Like cosplay stuff? Cool. I haven't cosplayed in a long time.
Oh no.
Maybe I'll do that for part of my St. Jude stuff. Like, at least Pikachu.
Like I said, I was.
I'm in last place, guys.
I was watching on Facebook.
Does it feel good?
And there was this
It does.
guy-
It does feel good.
No.
Never mind.
Somebody hit me.
No, you hit me.
Let's go 3
actually. I wasn't
Oh,
with you guys.
Kimono?
Not me.
Come
I'm
on, I
with
got
Pete, so
first.
don't.
Just over Tina. Oh, for 2
I
months.
tried to pick cheaper stuff. That makes sense.
I was stuck playing teeter.
Cosplay can be super expensive.
Let's go 3 and just under half.
6 just got licked.
You guys stop licking each other.
No, we enjoy licking.
We enjoy it. Fuck.
I got my tongue removed.
Hi, right,
Who
right,
am I gonna look this time?
What?
right, right.
Oh,
Hold
God.
on. Let's all lick each other. That's gonna be.
Like, oh.
I did the
Look,
artist
you're so
face.
cool. It's just bad when chat. It's bad when the bot even tells us we need to all take a cold shower and calm down.
You're not spew and die anymore.
A cold shower. Wow, damn.
Look at
Yeah,
that
because
cool
they're
girl.
licking. Lick is on cooldown.
I'm sorry, I licked on full caps. No joke, but
Damn, you're very aggressive liquor.
yeah, I was.
You were.
You
Oh, that was one of those really long,
Like a birdie.
top to bottom cat licks, you know? Being about a cold shower is crawling
Thank you,
into
whoever did
bed
that.
with another body.
That was
after-
me.
Ooh.
You knocked
fucked
me right
me.
where I wanted to go. Thank you.
You fucked me over, but thanks. You're welcome. Love
No,
you.
we don't like Canadians.
I agree, artist. I agree.
I'd rather.
Wrong.
Bogey? Are you kidding?
Yes. Do you want to take a cold shower and climb in bed?
I'm not sliding.
I don't want a cold shower because
I would love a cold shower.
Y'all are too horny.
So smooth. I mean,
Maybe a little bit.
I'm gonna zip my mouth right now. I almost said some things I really shouldn't say.
don't make me take my clothes off, Splins.
Why is it my fault?
Do you think dragon
Michigan.
licks would be better
It's
or
getting
worse
hot,
than
yeah.
cat licks?
You're the one that's licking with caps on.
Don't let the wine win. This is true.
I didn't mean to. It was
Mm.
it happened.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what
blaming
they all
us.
say.
It depends on the
Alright,
size of the
alright,
dragon.
Alright.
You're blaming us for
Alright,
being a
what
little
happened
bit.
there?
You know, come on.
Oh, and everyone
Alright,
gets quiet right
you're-
then.
You're getting me like that. Alright, fine.
Because it's getting
Oh,
hot in
no.
here, artist. That's why.
Just take off all your clothes.
Yes.
Oh, don't dare me with
Just
the
take
clothes.
off all your clothes.
Yeah.
You
Nobody
want to
wants
find
to
out.
see that, Michigan.
Honestly.
Nobody wants to see that shit. Put that shit on.
I'm blind.
Who says I'm wearing any? Oh, good point, good point.
Honestly, don't.
Might not be. Dang.
I just win. Everybody wins.
Artist, you are
I'm-
on fire tonight.
Right? 69 for
Hot
Split.
water.
Cheers, Split.
Oh God.
Excuse me?
69. That's your points right now. Cheers.
Web show time, you're at 69. You have to drink.
How did you actually make it over there? How did you just do that?
I don't know.
Don't
I'm
look
gonna
at the
try.
I
wall.
can
I'm
be
gonna
a
try.
couple
Oh,
stories
no, I
tall or
missed.
puppy sized.
Motherfucker, why that?
You're home
Jump
alone
over
tonight.
that.
Believe it
Go
or
under
not,
it.
this is a normal flirting.
End up over here. Alright,
I
that's
was
fine
just
enough.
fucking around. I just wasn't
I
really.
believe it.
actually making it.
Especially when you live
Yeah,
home
we're
alone all
gonna
the time.
go.
I need to be more aggressive.
Mhm.
We're in there. We're in there like swimwear.
Wow.
Okay.
And they're like swimwear? Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
R3.
What? Drugs.
I got it in two.
Look, I'm sorry I said an offensive phrase,
dare
but
you.
I was.
Why is
I
swimwear?
was.
Why is swimwear offensive?
I don't know.
Rocking out with the cock out. That's
Leave it.
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
don't really have something on.
I'm
It's
still
usually
in
pretty
last
slutty.
place, basically.
I went
but-
up in third. Let's fucking go.
Understandable. When you're home alone, do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
How do you get around though?
nosy neighbors.
Maybe go this way. Oh nope,
I
I
always
jumped
have.
the wrong way.
I have my windows open all the time.
All right, we'll
Oh,
go this
man.
way. Fine. Ole, ole, ole,
Skunks.
ole.
Yeah, you don't get to choose who you live. That's all.
Come on.
Good job, miss.
Ole, ole. Oh, I'm in the hole. Okay.
Oh, I'm in the hole.
Splunch, you need to pay closer attention if you're gonna just
Yeah, no, I know.
Ran-
I know.
jump in holes and not be aware
Watch out now.
I hear that's the worst.
God, I almost
of
killed someone.
it. Right here.
Okay, I'll take this. I'll take this. We'll go this way.
Burn.
Wah, wah, wah. Well, you're not in
Wah,
last
wah,
place
wah,
anymore.
wah,
It
wah,
is time
wah,
for a
wah,
photo.
wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah.
Let's see if I get lucky
Are
on
you serious? I
Valentine's
didn't get in?
Day. I mean,
I usually know when I'm in the hole. But...
sadly, no.
Valentine's Day is a long time from now.
God,
You know-
fuck
I
that.
mean, if we were talking about the last one, then yeah, no.
Yo, I'm not a very Valentine kind of guy. It happens.
It is, so we're
Too close to my
not
birthday.
anymore.
A wild Persian appeared. Pokecatch if you want to catch Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I still got caps lock on. My bad.
I'm catching this
Learn your lesson the first
pussycat.
time.
If it's the last thing I do,
To myself, look out!
can you say that again?
Like we're
No.
a bunch of middle schoolers.
No,
That was a nice scrum job, Jeff.
I would never ever say that again.
I've tossed a lot of salad in my day.
Back in my
Flip
day.
it?
Did you?
Back in my day.
It's not a full send.
Yes, sir.
It's maybe about a half an E.
We used to eat.
I
Bad
still eat
mod.
it usually.
Bad.
Oh, it's not a half an E
Dragon
because you don't
Quest
make it
like
all the way up the hill.
slits.
Nah, it's not a full send. Full send is foolish.
I full send it from there.
Made mod.
Alright.
Bought mad. Oh, did you make it mad? What did you make it? What did you do to make it mad? I missed that.
What did I do?
Don't you fucking dare.
The Dragon Kiss licked me. It's alright though.
Dragon
Turn
kiss.
them
It's
lights
Chris.
down
He doesn't
low.
like being
Same
lit.
thing I did. Oh my gosh! The very first time he visited my stream, I called him Dragon Kiss instead of Chris, and you did the same thing. His
Did I
name is
read
Chris.
it wrong? Did I read it wrong? Oh, it's Dragon Chris. My bad. My
Chris
bad.
is the
Same
channel
thing
fan.
I did. Words are hard.
Words are hard.
Please hit me. Please hit me.
I only know.
I
How is
love
it hard
hearing
enough?
people scream out. Please hit me.
Oh, I
Be
bet
one
you
more
did.
time. Baby,
I
hit
bet
me
you
one
did.
more time.
I
Mono Jeff and
Yeah,
it's
okay.
called Persian. Woohoo! We got,
Did you see
we
me
got
go
cat
over
tonight. Those are the polite words, artist. Hit me hard.
Oh, we're doing this one.
Oh
This
yeah,
one's
you don't have
actually
to.
kind of easy to
Okay,
get
let me
through.
do the
You
words
just gotta
thing.
like, you gotta have Matrix
Oh, lady did it.
vision.
Lady did it. There you go.
And avoid
Matrix vision.
Matrix
yeah,
vision.
baby. Yeah.
Go
See?
Jaffron, you got
That
this,
part.
Jaffron. Where is Jaffron? Oh, we got bird view. Hummingbird view.
No, he's dreaming of birdies.
All right, who won? Anybody get 69? No. Ha! Top. It's
Hey,
because I had too much
I'm not at
drink.
100.
No, because we all suck.
Wiggles won. Wiggles won. Wiggles won.
Alright, I gotta make a cocktail. I'll do it. Be right back.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. All right.
I got Ducky.
I guess I can go to
Hit
the
me with your best shot. I should change and put you on my computer so I can work. Yay! Yes. Fire away.
Yeah.
Yes, take your break if you need, guys. Need to take a break. Take a break.
I gotta take the dog for a walk for like a half an hour. So.
Oh, geez. Okay, so you'll be back
You
later.
might miss a game, but come back.
Go to the one after this.
Back
All
out.
right, break time.
I'm just gonna
Run, jump, sprint. Be careful.
okay, I
Be
think I
safe.
left the game. Oh no, he's good. It's fine.
Good luck with doggo. Welcome back, Lemon.
I am tired. I am.
Self-love. I hope it does. I blame Thor if it doesn't. He's using up all your internet.
It's Thor's fault.
All the internet.
When I come into
Even Crunchyroll.
Sprints into a tree.
Crunchyroll run slow.
It's a tough
What's
job, but
going
someone
on?
has. Got it.
Yeah, that's
I
unacceptable.
said walk.
Door's fault.
I said the word walk. Now he knows.
Let's see what I can do
Walkie,
to
walkie, 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 walkie.
shift the balance of things here.
It might be, and you know what? You should never be discouraged. You should just be encouraged.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, here, you don't choose your fucking self. We cheers.
I do. Cheers all by myself. Oh,
Oh,
I don't need anybody.
I'll do water.
You expect a cheers back, so cheers, skull, whatever.
Mm-hmm. By the time Dreams actually cheers, I end up drinking 3 sips. Because it's like the one before, the one right
Yeah,
as
that's
he's
it.
doing it, and then one more for the road.
well, that's a strategy.
Do you know what?
Roadhouse.
Good on you. You're good.
Yes.
You're keeping up with the crowd.
Chris, you just needed a bath, that's all.
What?
I know.
We were talking about cheers, and then all of a sudden, you just need a bath.
Tips
No,
I
we
guess
all
I
need a
guess.
bath.
What's it doing?
But we're
I'm
pretty
back.
dirty up in here.
Then
Be fair, and then. Nowhere and
I
then.
also want Paris wine. Let's go to Paris.
Oh, come on, it's
oh yeah, I had Paris wine the other day on stream.
Let's have
I'll
a
go to
kimono,
Paris.
A rosé from
But in a
Paris.
different way.
Oh.
Done. Let's go.
I think you're talking about books again and paper.
Just fictional men.
Mm-hmm. Girl. Girls trip, let's go to Paris.
Any
Oh,
of
that would be
Bucky
so
and
much
I
fun.
was gonna make a. We should
A
make
whole bunch of
kimono
girls go to
trip
Paris
in
together.
No, I will grow some boobs.
Thank you.
You were gross and
That'd
boobs.
be an interesting fun Paris trip.
Honestly, that would be lit.
Class.
It would. We would be feeding our faces, drinking wine, and having the best time in the world. And can you imagine the photos we would take at the, you know,
Can you imagine?
Tower of Pisa?
So many pastries.
We would have to get
So
so
many
creative.
pastries. I will
yeah, I'm
pretend to
sure.
be a girl for one day.
Oh my god, please, can we make this happen? Jack! Get your booty in here. Come play some golf with us.
No, we need a Spain, a men's.
We
Spain.
need a 9, 10, 11th wheel. We need an 11th wheel. Come in here and play golf with us.
Yeah, well,
I'm counting how many people are in voice
Jesus
chat.
needs me. Jesus needs me.
Heads up. Kimono, heads up. If
There's
by
only 9
chance-
of us playing.
By chance, we all end up fucking amalgamating together
BRB.
and going to France or
Uh-huh.
some fucking crazy
Welcome, Jay.
place like
No, I'm going to Spain.
Spain or whatever, I will
Go
100%, 100% be fucking down for that shit.
Oh my god.
I think.
And you'll not fucking see me coming, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like,
Leaning
Oh,
Tower of
Pisa.
Pisa. That would be
I mean like, use a lot.
Oh yeah, the Tower of
you know,
Pisa is
your
in
wee-
Italy.
Your wee
No.
tight-knit group,
Eiffel
whatever
Tower,
it is.
yes.
No, the girls will go to France. We'll
Yeah,
go to
can you
Spain.
believe wine? Words are hard, guys.
Euphemism. Be very careful of what you say with that. But in any
Maybe
case,
Tower of Cheese.
whatever the fuck happens, if I end up going to France or Spain or whatever, and you're all there, mate, it would
Yes,
be
No.
Italy
fucking
too would be
hilarious.
wonderful.
You'll not see me coming because
No, they don't allow you in.
No, it would be a girls only trip, dude.
Nope. Okay, that doesn't work.
No, we're gonna have a
Oh,
guys trip.
Tifa, if you're
The
using
mission-
your
your mission
camera
should go
with OBS, it's not gonna work with Discord. Mono has a
Oh.
separate thing that she uses.
Oh, that's why.
Yep.
Yeah, it allows me to stream in both places at the same time.
I will
Aw.
do the best.
I can teach you how after stream.
No,
For
they
sure.
can't tell
Okay.
us that we can't go to France.
Oh,
Just
then
have
don't
the
tease
boys
me.
right-
After 2
yeah,
o'clock,
right
though.
next to them.
Oh, or do you want to wait until tomorrow, Kimono?
Can I just
Yeah.
let you know, for all the girls,
Yeah, because
if you want to go, if
I
you
hope you
wanna
don't mind
go
me
to
saying
Spain,
this. I do stream on a different channel from 11 to 2.
Oh, no problem. I can shoot you a message.
For all the girls, if
Okay.
you ever want to go to Spain, go to Benidorm.
Oh my God, Lemon, don't tease me.
I don't plan on going to
You can
Spain.
get insider
plan on-
tours.
No. Actually, France isn't even on
What
my
are
bucket list.
insider tours?
Really?
What do you
Where's
mean
your-
insider tours?
Ireland
have
and
friends
England.
who live there, so they're locals, and they could like give us tours
Yeah.
on a local side of
So
things
anywhere that
instead of
isn't
the
Scotland.
Be cool.
That'd be
Touristy
nice.
stuff, that's
Yeah.
so much better.
yeah.
What's that?
Is
What are you saying, Wiggles?
No, it's just,
everyone back yet?
Even when me and my wife vacation, that's what we do. We'll go and we'll like find a local bar or something and hang out and meet the locals, and then
100%.
ask them about cool stuff
Where to go.
do that's not like the touristy.
Because otherwise, every city
Be
feels the
so
same.
much fun,
The
right?
only,
Yeah.
the only annoying thing about that is that I went and done that in Tunisia, and
Where?
we went to a
Tunisia.
nightclub.
I think
we
everyone's
went to a nightclub in Tunisia, and
Couldn't hit
the guy
play.
Tunisia for
or-
us.
and the people who I was with, luckily it wasn't me and my mate, but the people I was with,
Yeah, I don't
they got
know
the
if
fucking
everybody's
cameras
back.
going.
It looks
Oh,
like
dear.
Jeffrey left us though.
I want to explore and possibly meet and tease the Frenchman. You would. I mean, I would honestly be interested in anything art and
If
know,
you were
art and
anywhere in Europe,
sculptures
I'm
and
fucking game for it,
architecture
for
and all
sure.
that kind of stuff. Just
I'm
impresses
itchy.
me as well.
Can you guys hear Thor in the background on my camera?
That's a negative.
No.
No.
We are way too loud to hear him tonight.
Yeah, we are way
Thor
too
is always in my heart. That's where I am.
Mine
Who's
too.
Thor?
I gotta be
I
nice
mean,
sometime.
he is your other half, so
Oh, yes. I would love to go to the Palace of Versailles.
The Palace of Versailles? Where's that?
The
I want to go
gardens
to
are
D-Day.
beautiful.
That's where you
It's
wanna
in
go?
Paris,
Yay!
you dipshit.
No, you mean the Louvre.
and the garden. See, that sounds amazing.
No. Palace
Uh,
of
I've never been
Versailles
inside the
Tank,
castle,
it's your
but
time.
is in France.
Fuck the Palace of Versailles, you ought to go to the Louvre.
I don't
I mean,
give
it
a
is
shit what
cool.
you're suggesting.
Oh, I
Hey, Tank, your turn, turn.
Oh,
Right.
never mind. He's here.
Saying.
The girls' trip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. Okay.
luckily we can go to more than one place, so we'll
Yeah.
be we'll be good.
Well, should be
So,
like-
what
Granted,
you
I've
wanna
been
see?
to
Well, see
all
what
of
it is
those
is
things.
the girls
And
make a
especially-
trip and the guys make a trip at the same time during the same week, and we
Yeah,
have
that's what I was
one
saying.
night
Yeah.
that we all meet up. That'd be
Sure.
cool.
You know, we can have our bachelor.
I'd be
party,
okay
we
with
can
that.
have
Having,
One night that we all hang out and party together.
having been in
No,
France,
we're like,
you wanna
what?
go-
These are
you wanna go
girls?
see
Boys,
the-
gross.
Drinking game for the amount of times we accidentally run into each other.
You wanna,
Oh,
you wanna go see the Louvre.
Oh,
you wanna
God,
see
we ran
the
into
Louvre.
them. We gotta
Then
drink.
I'll make it a drinking game for sure.
Okay.
Oh, there's kimonos walking by.
I mean,
Shots.
the drunkest I've ever been has been in
I will
France,
say if
so-
cannabis is legal, I will
That
be
is-
Just so you know, Dave, I'll be
Who
on.
said that? Who said that? The drunkest you've ever been has been in France. Who said that?
I'll be D&D and
Huh?
don't worry, and won't
Who said
participate,
that? The drunkest
okay?
you've ever been
We're
in
gonna need
was
somebody
in
to
France.
That would be me.
Don't
From
all
flirt
pit-
me with me.
Pickpockets.
I shit you not, I got pretty fucking drunk in France, and I now know to stay well away from Leffy.
Or the French
Uh,
people, because I don't like you anymore.
Leffy,
I don't even know what I was drinking.
Michigan.
I had like 3 bottles of wine.
When it
I
comes
don't
to
even know.
traveling, especially like that, I keep like a small bag on me and it
No, do
stays near my
drinking
chest.
games. That's fair.
Well,
Well, yeah, a lot of times you have like inner pockets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
lady, so just as you know, I went to France with a university
Right.
second year, I
I'll
think it
do it.
was, and he had earpods in, or sorry, like you know the wired.
Yeah.
Regardless, so he had that in, and some guy tried to nick it off him on
Yep.
the underground, and the guy got caught the first time round. He's like, "Fucking, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're now I can't hear anything." So he thought automatically someone's fucking nicking something, and he was like, "Okay,
West
well,
smell roast
no, it's white
iron.
meat. It's what
I'm
we
really, really sorry, but wow." apologise.
Roasted.
Okay,
no,
well,
swipey.
fucking,
Swipe.
just fucking stay away from me. And then.
My brother went to
Big
England
boy
one time,
forever that good.
and a woman tried to pickpocket him from the back, and he's like, my dick's in the front.
But he put the.
Oh, I'm gonna use that.
Oh my god, okay, I laughed way too loud at that.
Not fucking half an hour later.
My brother for you.
Get it.
Not half
Hey,
an hour
if
later.
you're gonna try and do the reach around, at least do it the right way. Half an hour later, he puts them back in his pocket.
Yeah, half an hour later, the AirPods were out. Sorry, the earphones were out, and the fucking AirPod was in his pocket.
Dreams, your wedding.
Ah,
No,
so
keep
far.
talking, Dreams, because apparently it makes you better.
Nah.
Apparently.
that makes it worse.
I have no idea how I did that.
Do a trick like that.
See that, Reed?
No, I'm behind a stool. Great.
No fucking clue how I did that.
Chris
I know.
I would
burned
never
the
be able
bot
to replicate
and
that.
licked Jay.
Dude, these streets.
I'm not even trying at this point.
Oh, come on.
I know.
Me either.
Leave Remus alone. Hey. Oh,
Don't make me pet that dog.
Pet that dog.
Pokemon appeared. Poketch.
Can I pet that dog?
No wrong thing.
Pet that dog.
I'm a dog lover that doesn't have a dog.
Crowley on the little bed.
Oh, little baby.
I love dogs. It's just I don't
I
have
need a pupper and a kitty cat.
Yeah, I know. That's what my goal is. I got one of them, so I'm 50% there.
Oh, I can get through this. I can get through it.
Rain's
Dogs are just-
invisible.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Can I pet that dog?
Pet that dog.
Invisible?
That dog.
Pet that dog.
Pet that
Where'd she
dog.
go? Oh
Unbelievable.
god. She's a hot mess.
You motherfucker.
I need more snacks. ADHD.
We have, like,
entered
no
the
snacks
voice
in the
chat. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just a little bit.
What hole are we on? We're on
You'd always keep.
Okay.
We're on hole number 6.
Stage, yep.
Okay, update is done. I'm ready to go.
Yay!
No, I'm about to retire.
Fuck.
Ooh.
You're not allowed, Michigan. You have to keep playing with us.
Get up it.
No,
Jeff
I'm
is
gonna
eating
play with my
cookies.
friends. No.
Dragon Crest just like Jeff. I knew it. I knew it. You guys love each other so much. Thank you. Oh, I just caught the Pokemon. I
Yeah,
need
I'm in the hole.
snacks.
That's what she said.
Congratulations.
I've been in the hole.
Do I get a cookie?
Right?
Sorry.
No.
Cream pie.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I
that
wasn't gonna go that
escalated
far.
very quickly.
I wasn't saying I wasn't going
So-
that far. I wasn't going that
You're a snack.
I'm right, she is.
Oh, fuck.
You ladies are snacks.
You're dealing with a bunch of kids.
Actually, you guys are a whole fucking meal,
I can
but you know.
A meal? Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit the wall.
Oh, the
I promise I'm not a
fireplace.
cannibal.
I got it.
Oh, not yet.
It just doesn't let you jump at this point. I don't understand. There we go.
Just
Finally.
jump. I tried to do the same thing, but it said like.
I said fuck you.
Brady,
Yeah, that's what it did.
listen, I'm slow because I'm in chat. Give me a minute. No,
Dude, I'm always slow.
I taste cookies. I want something salty.
I
honestly.
can't have cookies anymore. I'm on a
Rose,
diet.
you want to do my research paper for me?
What are you researching?
I have to do the differences between Artemis, Diana, and
Dreams.
Celine.
You ran away and
Or
it's
no,
your turn.
Fun.
Yeah, I just
Alright, while we wait on
I'm
Dreams,
doing
I'm gonna
it
grab
for you, but
something.
I'm happy to edit it if you want.
You got like.
I need you to do it for me. I have other shit I have to do.
ChatGPT, I'm telling you.
It's nuts what you can do with that shit these days.
Yeah, but then I also have to cite the fact that I use AI.
Oh.
Splints, can you play hockey for me?
To be honest, like, I wouldn't
You're muted.
directly use ChatGPT, but I would use ChatGPT to necessarily.
Yeah, I could.
Just start you an idea and send you down a path.
Yep, that's
read
exactly what it's great for.
it, and then
Fair.
rewrite it, reword it,
Good, all right,
reset
cool.
points, move stuff
Nailed it,
around,
mate.
but really kind of give that stimulation to your brain to kind of send you in the right direction. You know.
Still
place.
That's how I've been writing all my
Yeah.
cover letters lately. Is I go to
Oh, really?
ChatGPT, I get the inspiration of like what I want to say,
No,
and then
why
I
did you
rewrite
jump?
it in my own voice.
Right.
Gotcha.
Someone was about to have the Doritos disease.
Do we
Doritos.
want to be in
Yeah,
the air, or do we not want to be in the air?
We just want to be in the hole.
That's a question of life itself.
No way.
Son of a bitch.
Who the fuck hit me?
Not me.
It was me.
I'm in the hole.
Somebody just
I thought I was hitting that
Somebody
harder than I did.
When I can get out of that.
Sorry.
Oh, come on.
Sorry. Yeah.
I apologize. My
No.
It should have been one bogey, but
Kick the
look
bed.
at you guys. What are you doing down here?
We're having a party.
Hanging out.
Party, party, get the party started. I missed the whole.
Alright, let's go.
Yes, the Dorito, Jeff. I share.
That works.
8 strokes. Ah, damn it, Bobby.
Get in the hole, Bobby.
That's 10.
Dang it, Bobby.
I need to watch King of the Hill again.
Oh, damn it, Bobby.
I'm still in last. What the fuck, dude?
Who said that? Who
What
said
the fuck?
Oh,
Oh,
what
Go, 100 bits. Thank you, Reed.
Was it you?
No, I already know
Yeah,
what
it
your
was.
What is that?
this is.
So,
Oh shit!
Yeah, we go.
Ooh,
and,
I
How do you say
forgot
that?
there was a-
that was.
It's a
forgot
scream.
there was a thing there.
Oh, it's not a moan.
Nope.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Happy Moon.
Yeah. No, guys,
not
you gotta
bad.
go over here and then
Yeah,
get in there.
Okay. I'm already in there.
Oh my god, thank you for
Mechanic.
knocking me in somehow, but
I'm gonna make you moan and
Alright, Bobby.
just tell me to stop.
Damn it, Bobby.
I need
Nailed
to
it.
slow down.
Fucking
If
nailed
I
it.
don't want you to stop.
Nailed it.
Oh my god, no, no.
Oh, no.
kind of bogey. Fuck off.
You know nothing, Rain. You know nothing.
What?
You hear nothing.
I want you to
Siren
come with
coming from.
me.
Is that from the game?
I think we all are.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's from the game.
I feel like I'm in trouble.
You guys are all waiting
Yeah,
on
no,
me.
no.
I mean, we're the escapists. We're trying to
No.
escape prison.
I
We're all
don't feel like
going
I'm in
to
trouble.
bad jail.
You're in trouble.
Wrong one.
You're in a lot of trouble.
Oh, I hit somebody.
Oh,
I'm just gonna wait because there's so much
dude,
chaos
I
going on
just
right now.
nothing. Sorry.
Ooh, that was a
Oh, that's
squish.
I, know,
Woo!
I did a switch too.
I
Yeah.
should have had a switch, but y'all fucked me up.
Dude, I went
Alright.
straight in the hole, like boom.
I need to drink. Keep drinking.
Talk about
Mhm.
balls.
You knew exactly where you needed to go.
Mhm.
It was
Right,
it was
good.
chaos. I
Yeah,
didn't feel like
perfect.
going.
I'm still in last place. Fuck y'all.
Mm.
I dropped 2 balls.
Chris, you're having a good time over there. All that self love was really good for you.
Oh, you
It is. It is.
scoundrel.
It is.
No, it's bringing me back. No, it's bringing me
Mother
back.
bitch.
Oh, I hit the wall. No.
Oh, shit.
Really? Why
I
did you
hit the
jump
wall
off?
too.
I hit the wall too.
We won't talk about that. Hit the wall. Just
I hit the wall
Oh,
again.
I hit the wall again. I'm about ready
Oh,
to
the
stop
wall loves
aiming.
your
I always
Oh,
do
I
better
didn't
when
even
go
realize it
aim.
went
Yeah,
this
it's
way.
better to just go
I
for
was
it.
trying to get a hole in one and I hit the freaking wall.
Gotta time
Story
you
of
jump
my
out
life.
of water.
The key word there,
Can't go in the water. That's
it
I'm
was
over there.
trying.
Water.
When I don't
Water.
try, I succeed. When I try, I fail.
same.
Story of my
Maybe
life.
we should try not to
No,
get
I
any
said it first.
stuff.
I win.
Story of my
Why not
life.
trying?
Wait, Michigan,
Tried that?
I'm with you. Story of my life.
Try not
Hit the wall and
trying.
Get fucking knocked back.
When I don't care and I just drink wine and I just shoot, I get a hole in one. When I try to actually
Shoot,
strategically
baby,
aim,
shoot.
You know
then I
what?
fail.
Because you overthink. You know, that's the thing. When you overthink.
I don't think you're gonna go anywhere, dude.
Listen, my greatest
Dang,
talent is
dude, I'm
overthinking.
jumping
Don't
all
knock
over the
it.
place.
Jump,
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 jump.
jump.
I have a shirt that says overthinking,
Everybody,
but also
jump.
hungry.
Jump, jump, jump.
60 seconds.
You should jump for
That's my
another
life.
50 seconds.
Yeah, that's gonna
I'm trying to.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Wow, it's my
Everybody,
entire
jump,
life.
jump,
Yeah.
jump. All right, jump.
Between that and the Bat Boys shirt, I
20
mean,
seconds.
it's my whole personality.
Literally.
Ooh, boss fight.
Splints,
Just
you need to stop
Give me my
teabagging
Eras
that
Tour
water.
t-shirt, and then
It's
I'm
been
golden.
some time since we had one of them there boss fights.
No?
Jeff is starting a challenge.
Oh, we're all gonna fight now? Let's go.
we're
Everybody's
gonna
jumping.
fight.
Did you see that she dropped
Everybody's
an album
kung
today?
fu fighting.
Oh,
Challenge accepted.
yeah.
Boss love. Oh, food.
I've been impatiently
Boss
awaiting
love.
it for the last 3
Boos
months.
love.
Patiently waiting.
I
You
still
would.
haven't listened to the entire thing because it turned into
I had
I
a
thought
will
that
to do
was
it. I
boss
just thought
love.
Suck it,
boring.
Tifa.
Instead of
Hey,
15
boobs.
points, you released 31.
It meant to say boss. It meant to say.
That's
And
so
my
many.
emotional bandwidth just
Cheers, buddy.
hasn't been able to handle it
Thank
yet.
you.
So
No,
I've
that's
only
meant to
gotten
say
through
what?
the first half.
It meant to say boss love.
Somebody's dipping in the bulbas.
Swish.
Oh,
Not really.
lady. Mm.
What?
I got an eagle.
How did I?
I'm just like totally messed up with this one because I got distracted by a chat. Mistake.
Only gonna get harder.
Conversation of
Food love. Okay.
Polls only get harder from here.
I distracted by what I said.
Whoa, whoa.
I have
You're
done
not wrong, Tank. You're not wrong.
I always get harder.
Corona got distracted by balls. Oh,
That's
familiar.
not surprising.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, unfamiliar.
Yeah, she got distracted when I said booze love.
I thought it said something else.
I can hold it.
Boob love, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
gonna be a hole.
See?
We love boobs here.
I should have said
Exactly.
booze love.
I do love boobs. yes.
Boobs are nice.
I mean, who doesn't?
Hello?
Two of my favorite things.
God.
yeah, two.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Like,
Rage
Zombie cat was
roses,
defeated.
titties on
And
women.
big boobies.
Yes.
Oh,
Wiggles,
Jeff
that
just
was
got
awesome.
bit by a lady
Oh
rain.
my fucking god, okay.
Alright, what's our ship artist?
Nothing.
I would say like the combination of Rain and your name, but that would be the same thing.
Why did I
On
get
either
screwed on the first
And I got in
fucking
so
flight?
quick, I don't know what to do with my hands anymore.
Oh, somebody hit me.
You were in the way.
Sorry, was it
I don't
me?
know.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Hit me harder.
Hit me
harder,
harder,
Daddy.
Come hit me.
Just a little bit.
I'm just kidding.
Chris, you're not allowed to fight my
I
girlfriend.
tried to hit you, but you already went in.
I know.
Who the fuck screamed?
I did
Me?
my best to hit you.
It was a good time. I screamed, okay?
How you
You
know
were
it's
in the
good time.
hole.
I'm still in last place, even though I'm doing really well.
You're about to get 69.
I'm about to get all
No,
the
she's
points.
offering. She's offering.
All the points.
I'm not missing it. I heard that.
All the points.
What do you think this is, Michigan?
Golf.
That's what you're implying.
Okay.
This is golf.
No! Okay.
Y'all, I got an eagle on that hole. I should go play the
Dude, this
lottery
is a very
tonight.
wet hole.
Yeah?
I get a fucking birdie.
So did I.
To be fair, 3 of us got
No,
eagles, so
but over.
maybe not.
Dude,
Yeah,
this hole
okay.
is very wet. And it's
Rigged.
Rigged. Yeah. Hashtag rigged.
I mean, if it's a couple million and you
Rigged
each get a
motherfucker.
million, is that really a bad thing, though?
It's still rigged.
I'm not sharing.
I'm not.
Damn, girl.
I have all these pets to feed.
Have you ever
No,
seen?
like,
Seriously.
You ever seen, like, I know it's kind of. I forget the name of the game. Where,
Do you ever?
I forget the name of the game, but they have like a couple of like Golden Globes, and at the very end, They've got 2 Golden Globes. One's to steal.
Oh my god, can you
and
not
one's
stay
to
on the
share.
land? What are you doing, Michigan?
No,
Nope.
I
They
like.
both choose share. Then
Stop.
they get the money between them.
Alright.
He likes hopping
Get-
around.
Get over there. Get
No,
over
I
there.
like the water around the
all the money.
hole.
He's
My bad.
playing the
over
field.
there.
Give him a break.
They basically said, "Look, I'll."
Why did you do that?
Go and steal.
Because I love the
Go and
water.
steal. But if you share,
Alright,
the
there you go.
value,
One more hit.
they go steal and you share.
Yeah.
You were trying to watch me around the water.
he
I
takes the
see.
money. Long and short of it is, he psychoanalyzes this guy and he's like, "Well, fuck it. Yeah, I'll just go share." And they both go share and they split £30,000, 30 odd thousand pounds each. And it was a fucking cracking winning of a like it's on record as to how much they actually fucking won together. It's yeah.
Am I that kind of fucked up? Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow, I am.
Come on, wow.
Hey, I got in this hole because it was a dry hole.
Motherfucker!
Sorry, Lemon.
Never go in a dry hole.
Sorry. Yeah, no, that's not a good time.
Your lady should have told you about
You should
that.
at least lube it
No,
up.
the
For
other,
either part.
That oven.
the other hole was
Dude,
very
use some
watery.
butter, WD-40, something.
Always
WD-40, that's what I use.
WD-40? That actually... Do you know what WD-40 does? It takes out all the liquid.
Okay, then, never mind.
I wouldn't know.
That's why.
I'm not asking how you know.
At least.
First of all, that's what WD-40 does, but yeah.
I thought it made things unsqueaky.
Oh,
Sure.
Well, that's why I've been using it around.
That's what I thought it was for.
Yeah.
That is the best technical term I've ever heard.
It's there to unsqueakify.
It's unsqueakifying everything.
See if you look at it this
Well,
way.
I've been using it wrong. My bad.
It says
WD-40 takes all the water out. All the water. It
So
takes
water
out-
makes things squeaky?
But
Yeah,
what if it
yeah.
squeaks a lot?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Look, it says it's a
Like
lubricant,
that.
but I guarantee you, it's a lubricant.
But I'm pretty sure a lot of things make
lubricant
roads
couldn't-
squeak, so it's okay.
Lubricant, not
The
lubricant.
luber couldn't.
It's a
Oh,
lubricant.
yeah, like I said, I've been using that the wrong way.
Son of a bitch, I want your cat.
I keep
Like that TikTok I sent her.
No! Why am I? Oh God. Fuck. Alright.
New perspective on ass.
Why you fuck?
Jeff, you've missed so much lately. Are you
Yeah, I
glad to
don't
be
know
here
why
tonight?
I
Or are you
fucked.
disappointed in all of
Why
us?
did you fuck?
No! All this way?
Honestly, they should study us.
Look, WD-40.
Maybe this way.
WD-40 says it's
Yeah,
a lubricant.
that's good.
Yeah, we're
But it-
so close to
that
being
lubricant-
under par
So does
this
olive oil.
round.
It
Oh,
is not human lubricant.
Michigan, out of my way.
No, stop it.
Oh, yes!
Get off my ass!
Guys,
Dude,
I'm on my
Clint,
last
can you stop
one.
touching my ball
I'm
again?
not trying to move.
Oh, I'm
Alright.
gonna- Wait, what? How did I not? get it?
All I hear is
Clint,
no,
can
no,
you get
no.
off my ball again,
Yes,
please.
yes.
I know you
You're
love my
supposed to
ball.
go. You're ahead of me. Go.
No, I'm behind you.
Yes,
you're not.
Google.
Yeah, I am.
Google judging
Yeah,
us,
I
Jeff.
had to do that.
Cheers,
Oh,
Jeff.
yeah. It's
Thank
3
you for
from
being
down there,
here.
boys. It's 3. Just let you know, it's 3 from down there.
Are you
We miss you,
fucking
Jeff.
kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
15 strokes,
No.
it's just like the
Get your
last-
cupcake butt back over here. You're going the wrong way.
This is my hole, guys, not yours.
Someone just knocked me off where I was, and I was patiently waiting my turn, and I
I
am
was
like
not
patiently
Splints.
waiting with the
happy.
operation tables.
So I'm just fucking going.
I blame
for it.
Michigan. I blame
It
Splint.
was definitely not me.
Bye.
It's always the same. So you're waiting to be knocked off, and then it's just patiently waiting.
It was
That's
definitely not
exactly
me.
what
No,
So I'm
stop,
getting from this
stop,
conversation that it was Dream.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
not me.
Do not look.
Yeah.
I'll
What
fucking.
happened?
Ooh, ladies getting all the kisses tonight.
You see what happened was I went up and then I was trying to get down. I ran out of time next to the hole.
I'm so mad.
No, I didn't win. Lady Ray won 69.
Right back.
Congratulations, Lady Ray. You got number 69. You win. I thought I won.
accent.
Me and
that.
Lady Rain were neck and neck the whole time, and then she falls halfway down the chart and gets freaking number 69. Cheers, Lady Rain.
I got a dunce cap out of that one.
You're a red square tail
You
now.
got
Yourself a Dundee.
You got third last.
Bye, Lady Rain.
Congrats.
Third first. Oh. You got like
Oh,
third
yeah.
first. It's like the third worst from best.
I really want more
Oh,
wine.
no.
I don't want to be hungover tomorrow.
Slant
I'm
you.
on a face for you.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
So do I.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
so we're all out.
I probably should to make up the last 2 days that I took off,
Okay.
but I don't give a
We're
fuck.
out. We're out.
You know,
I don't blame you. Don't blame you.
I
You
know,
need
I
you need
know.
time off.
I really like how you
Well,
wasn't.
I had time off right now, so for a whole week.
Awesome. So does Dreams.
I wish I had that much
Oh
PTO.
no! I wish.
How much
Alright, when
what
Michigan
time
comes
is it?
back
What-
and Wiggles
what
comes
did you
back, we'll start the next round. And it'll probably be the last round of the night, guys.
what
Because
did-
I've had way too much to drink.
Oh no! Oh no!
It is getting on.
I'm a lightweight.
Oh no!
No. Really?
Just saying.
What day do you go back?
I finished
No,
my cup,
no.
it's empty. And woo!
29th them.
I think you need water.
Eh?
I do. I have water, but I keep forgetting how to drink it. Just kidding.
Me 3.
Around the cat.
Oh.
She would forget how to drink it.
Boy, Rain?
What?
Here,
What'd
hold
you
on,
say?
I'll do
She's
the
got water, she just forgets how to drink it.
Mhm.
At least you have
Motherfucker
yours
too.
there. Mine's in my bedroom.
I don't
Did
even
you
have
drink
one.
water? Thank you, Jay.
I turned off.
I got it.
Hold on, I need to
Hold on.
deactivate it. That's why. Never mind. I realized what's wrong here.
Come on, now. See the bottle that you've got? Does it have
Yes.
like, time and stuff like that on it?
Yes.
What I'm
Or is it
drinking.
just- It does.
I love her too.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I love Fructuo.
You don't have that? But
It's-
it's 2 litre
I am
bottle.
so happy.
Still at 11 a.m. though. That's a
For
problem.
A week.
Well,
Better chug,
Are we
chug,
measuring-
chug, chug.
I won't get any sleep tonight if I chug all that. Oh my god.
So I
Let's
stopped.
go.
But you won't be
You
I'm
don't
a
stop
community
measuring
guy.
for
That's
one
why
of
I'm
these.
I
drinking
did.
Two-
I did have a 24-ounce coffee and like a 16-ounce energy drink today too, though.
That doesn't count as hydration. You know that, right?
I know.
But
It's not water.
It was lots of
You're
fluid,
He does not.
but
Yeah, guys, I have one of these
I'm
had too
hyper,
much
every
coffee.
lunchtime.
I'm hyper as fuck.
Ooh.
Not
Can't
because
drink
of
those.
alcohol, because of that.
And I've been going on a diet.
It's kept me awake.
So you've
for
been
months.
drinking those for your meals?
I will
Drink
say
water.
those are
Okay,
probably the
Ernest.
worst ones to be drinking if you're trying to
What,
lose
the
weight.
purple one? No.
What's that?
No, I'm not
The
talking to you.
Pokemon?
Dreams.
Okay.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. They work for me. I think it just depends on the person.
Podcast is not the best.
Well, it's high in
What's the
protein.
better
for
one?
The fact that
That's
Um,
not enough. Ah.
Shit, what's the ones that we carry at
I'll
work?
try. But I think I've drank it like 4 times now.
Come on, now.
well, it's gonna become
Can I tell you?
a
Can't
pastry.
remember what we carry at work.
You should drink that show. It's a thermos.
Is that
Literally.
bottle filled with
Was that 64 ounces?
It's
This
all
is 64
vodka.
ounces.
You don't even know.
Is that 64
Yeah,
ounces
it's
of
2
wine?
liters.
I wish.
No vodka.
But I'm still in 11 a.m.
Do
It's
I have time to
64.
go get more wine?
Yeah, you have plenty.
Yeah, we're gonna get you some more wine and then we'll start.
So-
Water is good for
I'm-
you, yes.
I'm gonna hold off on the wine because I've had
The
too
one
much.
I've
I had a
got
cup
is,
before
I'll
stream too.
DM it to you, Tifa.
Jay said drink some water.
This
Jay,
must just
more
come
water.
too much.
Hey, I'd just like to announce that I was not last place.
Who was
Wow.
last place?
Very proud of you, Miles. Very proud of you.
I would, in fact,
Well,
I
who was
believe
last
last
place? So we
place.
can.
I mean,
was
last
from
place, the rules,
Wait.
the rules on my stream, last place wins, unless somebody gets 69.
Ah.
69 is the best number you can get. So,
And
Rain
the
won.
Anything
most-
better than that.
Nice.
Well, the
Someone-
most strokes, the better you are.
Well,
No.
that's really just fucking annihilated. If someone has 69, you all drink.
Look at the finger.
If someone
Mhm.
gets first, you
Oh,
drink.
the finger.
damn fingers.
Rain just all of a sudden flipped.
Boy, that's
quick
No,
clap.
she's
Yeah,
trying to
she's
find
talking
the
shit about
protein
me.
shake for me.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, lady. Yeah, because lady will fucking annihilate you.
Can you stop?
Okay.
Because she's saying that this is
Okay.
not good.
Is everybody back?
I'm not in
Okay.
the headspace to deal
Okay.
with it right
Yeah,
now.
everybody.
We're gonna hit
I
start.
did say it. What the
Silent.
is coming
Yeah,
out.
what? Oh, haunted. Haunted.
It's coming
Yeah,
out.
the creepy
Good
baby doll heads in
lord.
a jar of green water.
Lady,
I'm not good at this one.
No, I can't hear anything.
It's coming out of kindness.
I'm so.
I know. It's just
It's coming.
I get it.
Beep.
I had a really
Why
rough
am I
week
not-
this week.
Okay, fair enough.
There we go.
I just wanted to get.
What are we
in the
doing?
hole
What,
and
like
that.
fucking 2.5 years?
I'm all over the place. That should have been a hole in one, and that was a really bad job.
The issue
I
with
blame
me,
the
I get in
carpet.
too quick. I need to.
You blame the carpet? Who said that?
Alright, hold on.
hit
I'm
three.
Slowly rolling.
At least get a couple of strokes in.
Are you kidding me? I've now hit
No, I
5.
did get a couple strokes. They're just very quick.
Got a couple of
I've now
couple
hit
of
6.
Mexican before you end up fucking.
But you helped Rose.
I still got
Did
a
I,
bogey.
did I
but
help
thank
Rose?
You. We'll go with it.
Hey,
I'm the,
bogey is
I'm
better
the
than
last
nope.
bad man. Didn't
No.
even make it.
It's better than a double
Did you
bogey.
hate it when you're just like so close and then you're denied?
So close.
Oh, I know, I hate
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
So close
Yeah,
and yet so
I
far.
definitely hate that.
Little edging.
See when they say
Give me a
stop,
minute, guys.
you're like,
Legend.
God,
What?
Let's not talk about that right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're not.
What?
Maybe I should have gotten more wine.
Maybe you should have.
Like I said,
I
all this horny talk
mean-
end up making people horny. Just saying.
Hey.
Hey, I'm a little Viking.
I missed it, but I'm gonna try again.
I have to wait for Rose to go.
Hey, it's your fault
one yeet,
for.
one yeet, slight to the right.
I'm right there.
One yeet,
It's okay.
one doesn't do it.
I got a
Rose, you're getting
bogey.
in my way.
I got a bogey.
Let's
Can
go
somebody
maybe-
help me
Wait,
with
boss.
the hole?
Let's go one a bit, one a bit.
You're a
Michigan
fool.
needs help finding the
Sorry.
hole.
Oh, rimmed it.
No, I got kicked out of the
No,
hole.
he got knocked out of the hole.
By the pole? Did you hit the pole? I hate
No.
that.
No, I
No,
was
I
around the
goddamn.
pole. Yeah,
I
Well,
hit him.
there's-
Sorry, I tried my best.
you knocked me away from the hole.
Did you ever do that? Though? Go for the hole in one and then you hit the freaking pole and you don't get it, and it's just like not fair.
Yeah, dude, every Friday night.
I can't say I've ever heard that issue.
There's a lot of meetings.
Wait a second. Yeet!
Oh, sorry, Jay.
I had to eat it.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, I
Look
didn't
at
even
it.
notice
Par
you
three.
Totally
wasn't here.
unintentional.
Sorry.
That's alright. It happens.
Ay, 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 ay.
It happens. Mm.
There we go.
Can you not
guys
talk
missed
to me
my
like that?
TV.
Because it really messes me up.
No, you're a bitch.
Damn, shots fired.
I do believe Lady
Wow.
Rain has just wrecked somebody.
She said,
Right.
"You're a bitch."
Hey, Michigan.
Oh no. What?
No, the wrong way. I would more fun.
Everybody's looking for something.
Ego cunt.
I might actually get a par.
Fighting.
Oh, I'm
I
gonna
don't
do
think
so
Oh,
I will.
bad.
Holy shit!
I got a par.
Devil.
Alright.
Oh, I just fucking dip, duck, dive, dip.
I don't even know how to bounce off that table thing. I don't even want to know.
The biggest thing is like, don't get fucked off by the lady.
Lady
Said no
Ray.
one ever.
What?
I'm not playing.
No, I don't mean Lady Rain. I just mean the lady.
Oh.
I'm Kevin from The Office. The lady.
Oh.
Never watched The Office. Is that good?
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
You've never seen it? Oh well.
No,
look.
never seen it.
Never in my
I
life.
heard about it.
I gotta go. Have fun, everyone. All right,
Yeah.
Chris. Good night. Thank you for hanging out. It was so good to see you again. I hope to see you
For
again
all those
soon.
that like The Office, I really want you to watch Derek.
All I can think of when someone says Kevin is Disney or Home Alone.
Yeah.
Well,
Wiggle.
hold on a
No,
minute.
that's not
I'll
what I'm
stay
looking
away
for.
from homicidal maniacs like you.
Can you
Oh,
say that
come
again?
on.
Like you.
Yeah,
Say that
homicidal
again,
maniac.
Komodo.
Yeah.
What was that statement you made? You don't about Disney and Home Alone?
Guys, you gotta get up in there, otherwise it's gonna be a timeout.
I don't know.
No,
Get
no,
up
me
in
and Wiggles, we
there.
keep it slow sometimes. Just what we do.
It's gonna be a
You ain't
timeout
dressed
if
yet.
you don't get in there.
Tap it on in. Just tap it on in.
What does it say?
All you gotta do is say, go home.
Michigan, you're
Go
so
home.
close.
No, I got it in.
I ran out
He
of time.
got it. He got it.
Hmm.
Wow, I ended
I
up
don't know
in
if I saw
second
those
place
before,
after
but-
that. That's wild as fuck. Alright, so we're going over there.
Cheetahs.
Yeah. I want to jump.
I'm in the hole. So.
Fucking heck.
Thank you.
Oh, are we playing?
Yep.
Sorry, I am
No.
doing something.
We're not playing. We're
Yeah,
just
Birdie.
like we're just like
Mother.
sitting here.
Sorry, I got distracted by.
Can I not jump in
No.
the woodwork?
Take your check.
Because Lady Rain sent me something and I was kind of looking over at it.
Oh, she's
Maybe you look at the other. Yep, there you are. You're in front of the hole.
A wild crab.
Hey,
Abominable.
Oh no, you had it. You had it.
I know.
You
I
really
didn't
did.
want to jump though.
What
I
is
didn't
this
want to
thing?
jump.
I don't
Yeah,
even know what
David,
this thing
jump.
is.
I said that.
And
See when you're on the woodwork, it doesn't
Go,
jump.
yeah.
Let me look at it. I gotta look at my stream to see what
you're
it looks
good.
like.
Jump again. Jump
Oh
again.
dang, that's one crazy
Yes.
snow crab.
Oh, wow. Fuck.
Yes,
Wow.
baby.
Catch the crazy snow crab, guys.
Again. Why am I in second place? I have no idea.
So is chat not even showing up on my stream? I must have it turned off.
happened
Is that not
I
the
do.
thing?
I thought you usually turned it off with
I tried
I
to.
don't know.
Jay Slider and I are like, oh, we didn't hit it
Lower that
just
down.
hard enough.
Sometimes I have it on, sometimes I have it off. But yeah, I didn't realize it. Well,
I'll take that, Birdie.
Mm-hmm. Hippery, hippery.
I'll also take that, Birdie.
Thanks.
Oh, we're going over there.
Yeah, no, I'm
hit by
just
the
doing this for
cord.
fun.
No, it's okay. I'll take the fucking albatross or
the
whatever.
misdirection.
Yeah, I was doing
Malarkey.
misdirection to
Malarkey.
everybody. It was really funny. Okay, I can't do it anymore. I fucked it up.
No, I didn't give it enough power. Now I'm stuck in a really bad
You
spot.
don't look like craziness.
Why do you
What are you doing?
We're
Get in
happy
the hole.
I'm
you.
gonna get it
Get
in
in
a
the
hole that
hole.
wasn't this hole.
Get
We're
in the
happy
hole.
you.
Okay, that's the wrong
Oh
one.
no!
There's no way you
Oh
have an
no!
albatross with the
You sound
Get
like
in the
the
hole.
lady from
You're our
fucking-
greatest influence.
like-
No one caught the Pokemon.
That's what
That's
it's
not
supposed to
fair.
Ah,
Get in the hole.
Splints, when he gets drunker, he has different levels of voice.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
No, it's when your
I'm
voice
cold
is
though,
getting
but
deeper.
whatever.
What do you mean?
Deeper? No, it
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
lighter.
Yeah.
It gets lighter. I'm all like, oh, what are you coming down to my popsicle?
Hey, we just gotta get in talking about half a knees. How many knees, Blintz? How many knees?
That was definitely a quarter knee.
Quarter knee? Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
left.
Okay, hold up. This one is like a full knee, but it's to the
But it's a
right.
butt.
Is it a full knee? I used 3 knees and the ghost booty bumped me.
slightly less than 1 3/4, maybe.
My back is killing me.
Oh, and then I rammed it, so I
Oh
didn't
my
get it.
god, I hit it and I didn't even move
And then
it.
Michigan
Over 1.5.
rammed me.
That hurts a lot.
Michigan, that's
Oh,
wrong.
No idea what I did.
You got
I didn't ask for that.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna
I
find
never
it.
did
Ask for
anything.
that.
I wasn't actually.
Ask
Welcome.
for that.
You're welcome, Kimono.
Just under 1.5. Just under 1.5.
It was me, Kimono. It
Oh,
was
was it
me.
you, Tippa? I thought it was Michigan.
Yeah, you.
No, it was
blaming
me.
for
I
it.
ran the shit out of you.
We're doing
Ew.
one a bit. One a
I
bit,
had
just
to. I'm
left.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I always get blamed for this stuff.
I got no buggy. What's up?
I'm just playing it normally. Fuck this.
But at least they didn't
I'm
touch
in the
you over
hole.
though, Kimono.
I'm in the hole.
What?
You play it
Oh, I'm
normally to
going for
begin
the
with.
wrong hole again. God damn it.
Rosie,
I
why
mean-
would you ever go for the wrong
Make
hole?
correct.
I mean, we've had this conversation before. This is not really
When
such
you bound out weeks,
thing.
the whole room
It's
stinks.
just a preference.
There's no such thing as the wrong hole. It's just a right hole, right time.
Yeah,
You said
Exactly.
the wrong hole.
I was about to say, you know, it's up to the
Unless
per-
it's a
the
nose or an
hole.
ear, and then
up
it's
to the
not
hole.
great.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I'm out.
It's other hole,
See, they're
wrong
wrong
time,
holes.
right time, whatever.
Come to the
like I
conclusion
said,
that
it's
each
up
and every
to the-
single one of you
it's
are
up to
dirty,
the
dirty
hole. It's up
birdies
to the
today.
hole.
You all are dirty
That's
birdies.
true. That would be really.
We're so nasty.
Oh, it's a brook.
We're just a
Wow,
bunch of
I'm in
weird-
first
Did you
place.
do that?
Wow.
Oh, I fucking
How did
nailed
that
it.
happen?
Like,
How did
yeah,
that
I'm
happen?
Because you're that
Don't
good.
pretend that I didn't sit
No,
in.
I'm not that good. I'm actually
You are
that
that
bad.
good. You gave it just the right amount of
I'm
yeast.
like
and
super fucking bad.
You did just the right amount of yeast.
I knew all about these. Hey guys, you're in front of me. Go ahead. Have a yeet.
I already did a yeet.
Yeah.
Oh well,
What's
there's
going
this
on?
other weird one.
Swoosh to a par.
I'm not
Death
gonna.
is sleepy.
Wow.
That's at your
somebody hit
bedtime.
me.
Not yet, Josh.
Somebody
You're in my
hit me.
house.
Nailed it.
It's my
I
bedtime.
won't hit you.
But Jeff,
Oh,
you're
Hold
not.
on.
It.
Over there. There it is.
Not gonna be my bedtime for a while.
Where's the
I don't
hole?
It's
see.
already past my bedtime, but I'm drinking.
Yeah. It's an hour past.
There's the hole.
It's an
I
hour
don't
past Lemon's bedtime, and right now is my bedtime.
And
Double bogey.
I don't have a bed.
Girls, just let the hair down.
I don't have a bedtime on Fridays.
Let the hair
My
down.
hair is down.
Once in your life. Just don't give up.
Dude, my hair's down too.
Oh
Let the hair
no.
down.
If I let my hair
ain't
down,
got
it'd
no
be
hair.
like,
Stop it.
Hey, I'd love
this
it.
is
Dude, you're in
great
a
mistake.
Motherfuckers.
bald guy.
Yeah,
anonymous,
I'm in that testosterone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm grateful I don't have hair like that.
Which way?
Yeah. I wish
It
I had
rains
thick
here.
hair.
We're gonna go like whoop, jump.
No, because then it takes 5.5 hours to get your hair done.
No, you gotta fall
True.
downstairs.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't even fall down the stairs correctly.
Hank is touching my ball. Just
And
saying.
who's touching your ball?
Hank.
What's up, your balls?
Damn.
Oh my. Oh my.
I just set you up. You're
fucking
welcome.
That's so weird.
Thank you. Anyone want to do my discussion
Uh-oh.
board replies? No balls.
I did my best,
No,
but I
thank
ended up
you.
in the hole.
I have enough of my own artists.
Damn, I am.
Anybody
scared.
want to do my presentation on Monday? I've been practicing for 2 days and I still feel like crap about it because
Hey, did you see that? That was amazing.
as much as I'm able to get on stream and talk to you guys, standing up in front of a group of people and talking is totally different.
Oh, I
Yeah,
get
That's
it.
because you can't see us.
God, did I not?
Yeah, I can't see you.
Well, can I be too
I'll
honest
do your
with you?
presentation if you do PR for the electric company for me.
Oh, jeez.
What do you mean?
I will do your dishes. I don't know.
Do I just have to get on Chat GPT and write up a press release? Is that it? Do I just have to get on? Do I just have to write a press release for your electric company? No, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, no,
It's too
not doing
long.
that.
It's too
Not doing all
long.
that.
That's what Swen said.
It's too long, everybody.
Too long.
Yeah.
It's definitely a personal problem.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you know, they always say girls don't like horses.
Just remember, on average,
Actually, they kind of do like horses, but I'm not a horse.
on average.
What is
Have you
the
ever
first thing
seen a
that every
horse?
girl wants? I want a
I'll be your personal problem.
Hey,
Ooh.
hey, listen to this little fact
Do you
that I
want to
know.
ride my
Yes, please. Okay, tell me.
On average, the erect male's penis is about 6 inches.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That makes sense.
I don't know where that came from.
Tell me something I don't know.
It became from her educational class that she had.
Yeah.
She learned all this
Remember,
stuff.
I took my sexuality class.
Show it.
Yeah, no, here I
But I
fucking.
thought would count for social science, and it didn't.
Oh no, so you took a class, so you didn't have to, but I bet it was
Yeah.
a fun class though. And you get to talk about it.
It was.
Yeah, you can talk about what this is. You could have done. Sorry.
It was
So
very.
is
And
it
the
plural of
whole
Penises or peni?
it's about
Penile.
3.5
I don't know,
inches
that sounds way
to
better.
I call it the
4
penis.
and a half.
Alright.
Doesn't count.
What the hell?
Like
Or
a
pe-
gang.
Or a PPs.
No, I call it a
It's
penis
measured in pee pressure.
because I pee and it's also a penis. I call it a penis.
Mono cut off. Yeah, I have to get quiet on that one.
The plural of penis is peni.
The whole of a clit's about 3.5 inches.
Okay,
Yeah,
to be
that's
fair,
what it is.
to be fair,
Yeah.
before
To be
you hit
fair.
the cervix, it's only like 6 at max. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, you don't have to touch the bottom as long as you can scrape the sides. Yeah.
Fucking
right?
motherfucker.
No.
Fucking right amen to that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, like you know.
Oh, well.
Scraping the sides? Yes.
You don't wanna fucking.
Thank
He
you,
knows all
whoever
about
did
scraping
that.
the sides.
Dude, I can't
You
find the
went in my
runway.
spot.
So.
Never stop bouncing. Never stop
I
bouncing.
missed. I missed it.
Bounce,
What?
bounce,
You
motherfucker.
talking about it? No.
Who knows?
I never
stop bouncing.
Anyway.
Okay, I'll finally stop
This is
bouncing.
actually
I
sex
just,
class.
I need to follow the fucking.
Don't stop.
Get it? Get it?
Don't stop. Don't stop.
Believe it.
Wow,
I love
I
how you
ended
all
up
went for
off the
different
track
notes
again.
It's not often said in that way, but okay.
Don't
I
stop.
used to mansplain a woman's anatomy to me.
Oh, dang! Go dang!
She's
I keep ending up off the.
really
fucking-
challenging you guys over here.
For the bookmark, there's Splints.
I will.
What do you
not
mean?
such a thing.
Here we go.
But she will put you in your place. She's the one to fear, not me.
Who's that?
Artist.
Wrong
Artist.
side of the book.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
Nope,
But-
nope, nope. We're just gonna
Well,
do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
She's
Okay.
my scary dog privilege.
You got fucking 40 seconds of this.
Damn, Splint, you are doing it well.
I absolutely will. Thank you, Jay. I do need all the water.
That's
Get it.
I just
Get it, Splits. Get it.
Get it!
Damn, Splint.
Dreams.
Wow.
Alright,
Putting
fine,
dreams in a
fine,
place.
fine.
I'm getting
Yeah.
jealous.
What?
Here we go!
Thank you.
Off the other
Thank you, Jay.
side.
Who am I putting in their place? I don't even know. I've lost track.
Down. Tell me.
Oh, I'm just saying, artists would destroy dreams.
Wrong hole, Splits.
Artists will destroy all of us.
You gotta go under the moose. You gotta go under the moose.
What region?
Through the
No,
moose's
I'm
leg.
I'm fucked. I have no idea.
Everything
I have no
about
idea
you.
at this point.
It's okay. You can try again on the next hole.
I'm still not last. by the way.
99 will
You're
say
welcome.
stay
I think
where
that's
you
a
I got you.
You're welcome.
What I'm here for.
the horse's nuts.
The gorilla. The gorilla.
Oh, wow.
That's a
Oh
gorilla.
my word. That,
Oh,
that's
wow.
touching.
Wait,
I was following Rose.
Yeah, don't
Just
follow
saying.
me.
Don't follow me.
They lost.
You should know better than that, Mono.
Look at everybody else.
But you're special.
Oh, I'm also really bad at this.
special. Oh God, why did I miss that?
All kind of special. All kind of
It
special.
follows me.
Oh my God, I was supposed to have it.
Alex mentioned special. That should be a command. We're all special in this Discord right now.
So
Just saying.
special.
That's not even right.
Y'all really do be special. It's
No, we're causing chaos.
we are special ed.
Oh, we've all been. on
Get
the
it,
show.
Dream. Get in the hole.
Come
on, Dream, can't you?
Dreamweaver, go straight.
I don't know what you
Dream,
did
you're
see tonight.
Wake up, buddy.
Dreamweaver.
Somebody
We're
pull
waiting
his
on
nose
new
ring.
dreams.
Nailed it.
No more dreaming.
Nailed
just
it.
noticed
Went
that
to the
tall
wrong
thing.
course.
Same course.
That's what I did for the first 3 strokes.
Same course.
I ended
Yeah,
up on the
look
wrong
at those
course.
moves, dreams.
Different
Woo!
perspective.
Wow.
He's
Dreamers, that should look
waffling.
Right. I got
Wobble,
Damn, I'm
wobble,
not gonna get
wobble,
15
wobble,
high.
wobble, wobble.
I have right now.
I still think that was a gamble.
Yeah.
Lean Weaver.
Do you know the best
Not when
thing
I
You
went crazy.
can't see which way to go.
It's full speed toward the book.
I show you I'm an idiot. I'm really not.
Oh, it's not.
I got rejected. Did any of you get rejected?
I
I
did.
did. Wow! Thank
did
you,
earlier.
whoever did that.
What? in the
Nobody
fuck?
likes me. I won't let me over.
I need on. All right, fine.
No.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
I love
I'm
you.
gonna
I
get
don't
a
like you
bouquet.
either.
Fine. Oh, what?
Kono, can I tell you
Who
you're
messed
struggling?
me up?
I love you, but I gotta go to bed. Special. Okay, I don't like you either. I love you. Oh, I love you too, artist. Have some sleep. Thank
Good
you.
night.
No. Reread that, Mono.
I don't even know what it said.
I
Says
don't like you
Mono, I can
either.
tell you're
I love
struggling. I
you.
love you,
I'm
but go
telling
to bed.
you to go
Yeah,
to bed.
I am after this. I have
No,
to finish
she's
this
telling
round.
she's telling you to go to bed.
I do need to.
Tifa's on 69.
I
Tifa's
admit.
on 69, and we'll do a cheers to that. Cheers, Tifa.
Yeah.
I admit, it's past my bedtime. I've had too much to drink, and but I have to finish this round.
Hop. Yeah!
I have to finish this game.
I mean, you don't
The
have
game must go on. Love you a long time. Please do. Please do. Where's their heart? Please do.
He
Life
wants to
is hard.
find all the details.
Life is hard.
What
Words are
games
hard.
is Words are
No,
hard.
Life
this
and
game.
words are both hard.
Dude, I
Yes.
only know 4 words. So.
We'll fight.
What?
Oh, geez.
I'm trying to help you out,
That's how much
man.
there.
I
There
was
you
trying
go.
to.
Okay,
I'm sorry, Rose.
hit the green, baby.
Oh.
He's grumpy.
Okay, I'll hit
Oh,
the-
it's way over there. I can't help you. Okay.
Way
Oh
over.
no.
That's a Martian, baby.
Whee! Oh no!
Wrong,
I'm on
baby.
the couch. I'm on the couch. Nope.
Is that? Oh, whoa.
I messed
I-
up.
Way
Thank
the
you
fuck.
for whoever hit me.
I almost did.
Dreams
Way
is in the
fuck over
way.
there.
Oh, cheers. Thank you.
What the fuck is happening?
Go on, hit
It
me.
was
No, I'm in the hole. I'm already in the hole.
313 times
Nailed it.
last time? Really?
Birdie! I get a birdie.
Is it always the same? Scatterbug has been
No.
caught. I don't even remember trying to catch a Pokemon.
Fuck
It
off.
was 312 the last time.
Are you sure? You
Yes.
should do it again.
You're hallucinating.
Stop
I
right.
swear. And I'm the one drinking. Run. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Run
yeah,
past.
right.
Run past Splints.
It's fine. It's at 314 now.
I'm doing my best.
You're hallucinating, artist.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Wiggles. Get in there.
I think you had too many
Once
gummies,
I
man.
explain my week, you'll understand. Okay.
Gummies.
No worries.
Many nights in a row.
I love a few weeks for almost everyone, to be honest.
Yeah.
You should. I don't have a
Yeah.
week.
This is the reason why I'm taking fucking. This is the reason why I'm taking 9 days off.
Whack
Been a
fuck.
Yeah.
Hell of
Keep
a
rubbing
fucking
it in.
month.
This is why I'm getting off.
Well, I'm happy for you, because
Oh,
if I could
somebody
take
moved
9
me.
days off right now, I totally would.
Well,
Because
Can't
it's
even.
difficult for me to get time off from my work, and I.
yeah, there's like
Dude,
No,
somebody
I-
didn't even allow me to have anything. That was funny.
I got like this major presentation Monday, and the guy that's leading is gonna fail. So
The guys leading.
Sorry, you shouldn't have
Yeah.
hired me then. Jeez.
yeah, like he's not prepared at all, and he was off today
So then, why the fuck are you having to pick up the slack?
because I'm the last person, and I gotta make the last impression.
Departments, not people.
Well, that's
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
shit.
I get one more. Oh
Surely-
no, I didn't even hit.
Okay, so let's put it this way. if you
And
give a
double
good,
mugging.
if you give a good
Caffeine
presentation,
anxiety?
I'm sure you
Oof.
will. If
Fire
you're
the
giving a
other
good,
guy.
if you
Yeah,
sure,
I gotta
if you
show
give a
this
good
dude up,
presentation,
man.
I'm sure you will. Surely that
Let's
reflects
do
more
just flex on
on
him. Do the
them.
gun show.
What is?
Surely it reflects more on them to be like, well, at what point was this your idea? You're like, well,
Yeah,
this
it
was
depends on who the
all mine.
presentation's to.
It wasn't his idea. Our boss put us up to this presentation. It was 3 of us presenting, but it's just like, I don't know.
No, so what I'm trying to say is like a matter of accreditation, where they're just like, well, we know that this is all basically Kimono's idea, and you know this is
Well, it's
basically
her
her
work.
input. You done fuck all to this.
More to input.
Yeah, like are they going to turn on more specific? Let's say, for instance, you give a shit presentation. They'll turn around and be like, well, hold on, who is the leader of the
Well, we still
presentation?
have
They'll be
2
like, well,
holes to figure it out.
it didn't.
Story
it
of my
was
life.
all on me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Nah, yeah, they're not gonna be like it's all on me or anything. It'd be fine.
No!
All I'm trying to really mean is that
Hmm.
like people have to be given credit for specific
Either or,
for
it
their
will
input.
happen.
Yeah.
Thank
And I
you.
think that you'll be given more credit.
No.
Am I going to the wrong hole?
I just like, as much as I do great talking on stream and talking to you guys and everything, it's just hard in front of real people like IRL.
Hey, I'm real.
So different.
I will contest
think
that.
I'm
Especially when those people like, yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
$100,000 decisions and shit. It's
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
it becomes.
and it's not even that. It's like competitors and peers and stuff for our company.
Shouldn't even be
It's
that.
just like,
You shouldn't be in a group with your competitors.
Oh yeah, you should. 100% you should be in.
we learn from each other, oddly as that
Yeah,
sounds.
Not as an ally in the same project. Is the point?
Poison, please drink water. Okay, pretend I'm in the back cheering you on. I'll FaceTime you during the presentation and cheer in the back. Sweet.
They will. Well, okay. So here's my my downfall when it comes to public
You
speaking.
kidding me?
I'm.
Danny Buckshot. I thought about that lady. I thought about I'm gonna pretend I'm talking to Lady Ray.
I'm really shy at public speaking, as I'm sure you well know. Like I just voice everything.
No, you're doing it pretty good right now.
But when it comes to, let's say, like I've done a lot of speaking in front of universities.
Am I the only one that made it in the hole?
I'm gonna try.
No, I'm trying to make it into the hole.
No, we're all the way to Michigan, I think.
Come on, no.
I know,
I've
sir.
done a lot of. I've done a lot of.
You know, I
speaking.
usually
You're doing better
buy-
than both me and Splint, so don't you apologize.
I've done a lot of.
I buy.
What do you
dinner
mean?
from
I'm
the
already
hole.
in the hole.
No, I'm gonna buy dinner first. That's what I'm gonna do.
I just have good days
You got
presenting
10
and I have
seconds
bad
left. We
days.
only got
And
10
I just
seconds
like,
to eat, so.
I have so much dumb anxiety over this one that I don't understand why I'm having so much anxiety over it. But I am.
Oh, I'm not at the end.
I'm just glad it's gonna be over.
Right?
They should get all the credit. They should get.
It's
all the
gonna
credit.
be
Oh my god, that was so
over.
close. I thought I fucked it up there.
Oh,
Fuck, I fucked that up.
dear me.
Oh, I didn't give that enough heat.
Come on, no. I've done a lot of speaking for university and stuff like that, where I was always shy, and it's the hardest fucking thing ever.
It is.
But
I'll give you the hardest thing ever.
Excuse me? Who
Oh,
did I hit?
snap.
No,
It
you
was
won't.
so difficult doing public speaking in that way. But as someone who's not
Don't say that to
confident,
Thor, he'll play you his song.
as someone who's not confident,
Yeah,
speaking to
inappropriate. Makes
a lot of people,
it harder.
it
Gives me anxiety. I promise I can handle it.
the little things.
Pretend it's
I'm
just
rhyming
us.
the
Yeah,
little
I'm gonna
fire.
try really hard to pretend it's people I know and in an environment that I'm familiar with.
It up.
This picture
Oh, if
mom
you
made.
hit it too hard, you hit it too
Like,
hard.
It's
Okay.
rare. I mean, it used to be. I used to get so nervous every time streaming, like extremely nervous, just stream.
There we go.
But streaming has helped
I
me
just
so
did it the
much
first
that I don't
time.
do that every time. Every now and then, I still get to that level
Oh,
of nervousness, but not very often.
Hey.
So I hope I can pretend it's just like talking on
Are you
stream.
serious? I better fall in.
Well, like I said, just picture them naked.
But
That's what I do.
I can't do
You
it.
know
I can't
would be
do-
good
I
for
can't
my
do-
caffeinated anxiety shakes,
I
Remo.
can't do public
Right.
streaming of any kind. Like what you see from me is just me. being
Wiggles.
that I'm
Hey,
never-
thank
Oh
you,
no.
Wiggles.
But see if I seen you, see if you were here
Yeah.
now, like in front of me, mate, I won't speak.
You be
It's
quiet,
really
yeah.
weird. To the extent that
Don't speak. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts.
to the extent like even if I go to the pub, if I go to the pub, I know
Uh-huh.
it's gonna sound fucking weird. If I go to the pub, then
Oh my
I
god, Wiggles just
shut
got
down.
that in.
I may have had enough caffeine
Oh,
to
you're lemon?
unalive a small horse holding. Hey, look at that! Wiggles won! Congrats, Wiggles.
Thanks.
He was
Hey,
such a good
wiggled
boy.
himself right into first place.
He wiggled into the first.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
You're getting off the
Yes, I am. I hope you have a good stressier stream.
I'm actually getting off so I can get ready for my other stream that I need to do.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
So, who are
Yeah.
you rating off to, Kimono? You
I
know?
don't know. I probably not. Because then I'll get stuck talking for another hour. I'm terrible. I do sometimes, but I don't know who I want to read tonight. If I did, who's even on?
I'll be like,
yeah, did it?
I should probably raid somebody and be nice.
Yeah, we
See
can
if I
do double
started
raids. Let's
soon,
go.
would you raid me?
No, never. Just kidding.
That sounds like a
Hitting
fight
dreams. I would totally do that.
Euphemism, like.
I would totally. Let me look and see
We can
who's
do a
on.
double raid, Kimono.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is that one person on? Yes, they are.
Raid one person.
I've been screwed over by bad partners
Who
in
is
high
it?
school.
Do you want to raid J3?
Yeah,
So,
sure.
yeah.
Since he's a mutual of ours, so we can totally raid
I
J3.
don't tolerate lazy partners.
Quote,
Well,
I
I
feel
don't-
like Cookie
See,
Monster?
I work. It's
Monster.
all tasks are because we provide our customers a solution.
Mhm.
Almost every task is a team-driven task. So
Mhm.
there's multiple moving parts. So the expectation of being able to work together and function together and
Oh yeah.
is very, very important.
I know you're a porn star. I know, but
And
Mhm.
just it's one of the things that's actually that I've realized from my standpoint is knowing and understanding your personalities that you have and placing the appropriate personalities together, because based on how they function, how they're going to work together,
They work better. Mm-hmm.
yeah, you have to find those little things that's going to make the project smoother, because the people are actually able to sit there and tolerate each other, and at the
Story of
same
my life.
time, above and beyond, at the same time, are also doing everybody does their part.
So
You know what
I
I
have a
mean?
question. I have
I
a
have
question.
had
for you.
partners,
I have a
but they
question
wanted to-
generally out
They
to
said
the
nothing.
masses, I guess. I have a question out to the masses.
Copy and pasta. Let's raid, guys. Good night, Dusty.
Let's
Good
say
night,
for
Jeff.
some,
Good night,
let's say for some fucking crazy reasons, right?
Good night. Love your faces, and I will catch you guys next time. Sweet dreams, all. Good night. Thank you again. It's been fun. Catch you. When is it? Sunday. Catch you Sunday.
What up, Mono? What up, Tifa? How you guys doing tonight? How was the stream? You were all playing golf together. Nice.
And it was, so we were late to that. That was interesting though to see them put it on as a Broadway play.
Or the streams.
on my YouTube playlist is just like I can listen to the whole Phantom of the Opera soundtrack and like think of the whole movie while I'm listening to it.
You're maybe a little tipsy, but that's why we call you so.
Whoa, talk about tipsy.
Yeah. Mono's a little tipsy. Stay on in. We don't want to lose you.
Hey. To those who
We're
can,
ready for that.
willing, and able. Cheers.
I'm definitely able.
And if you're not one of those things, then you've got
Maybe I'm
something else.
semi-able. I might be semi-able.
Cheers.
Partially able. Momentarily able. Thank you for attending the mandatory meeting. I appreciate it. I'm trying to like. I've not even thought to the extent of what I should even think about it. You took me somewhere.
I did.
Yep.